It wasn't supposed to go like this. It is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Paul, how you doing there, buddy?
Fantastic, thank you.
Life good?
Yeah, life is good.
How's the kid?
Kid's fantastic.
Kid's
She's doing
good?
really good, yeah.
Every time I hear, a lot of times when you deal with other, I was going to call you young dads, you're right about the right age.
Okay.
You hear 50% bad stories.
Oh, no, my kid's an angel.
No, yeah. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Is that when you talk to most dads, 50% of the story you get is, oh, they did this, oh, they did that. Oh, they're wonderful, they got a B, and they were good in arts and crafts. Oh, they're terrible. You, 100% of the stories I hear about your kid are good.
Yeah, well, for the most part, that's true. She is like, has her moments, but normally it's my fault. Like, either she's tired or she's hungry, and I didn't do something about it soon enough.
Your child is exactly like my wife. Always hungry. Yeah. Always did. I have a headache. All right. Well,
she's got it pretty easy though. She's pretty spoiled. I mean, being an only child.
She's still 6 or she's 7 now?
She just turned 7. Being an only child and having her grandparents live in the same house, like.
So your particular 7-year-old has it really easy.
Yeah, right.
Double presents.
Double
you
presents.
spoil her.
Yeah.
And then the grandparents. Plus, it's summertime. Is she like getting just free run of the neighborhood?
Pretty much, yeah. And we had a super soaker fight last night before bed.
That's what I'm told. That's very good. So the reason I opened with it wasn't supposed to be like this. I did some work around the house, which is stupid. I shouldn't even attempt on what made me think. And shame on Amy for letting me, the house will never be the same. But that, talking about that stuff's what I was going to be doing this morning. All that changed on the way. Well, first of all that changed. I get home to tell my wife a pretty funny story as far as I'm concerned. She doesn't seem nearly as amused as I am. So I tweeted. Now Amy's got to do that for me. I'll be there all day trying to figure that out. And so I tweet the story. Again, amusement. So here's what happened. And somewhere along between last night and today, I have lost the love and feeling for this story. I'm at, let's go with First Street and Mercer. First being a little side street.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a right on Mercer and 100 feet away is Queen Anne Avenue, and I'm going to take a left on that and go home. So from the point things go weird, I'm 150 feet away from everything's going to be fine. Just go home. This will have never happened, but it didn't.
How could you possibly get into any trouble that close to home?
That's what you would think. Although I've actually been arrested in my house,
Yeah.
But I get your theory. So I go to turn right onto Mercer and then left on Queen Anne. And there's a white Jeep who's going to go straight, and I'm next to him. He's going to go straight, I'm going to go right.
Okay.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a Cadillac, I thought, with his turn indicator on, and he's going to turn left. So I look at the mess on Mercer, and I'm not taking this right turn. I'm going to go across the street. So the white Jeep, his white Jeep, somebody else's white Jeep, must like mine.
Yeah.
I let them go first, then I'll just pull out behind him, and I'll cross the street, and life is good. The guy did I mention it was a Cadillac? With his, okay. The guy in the Cadillac apparently has changed his mind about turning left. Fine, whatever.
Just like you changed your mind about turning right.
About going straight. Yeah, everything's still great. So we start to cross the street, and I'm waiting for him to fully cross the street, and then I'll slide in behind him. The plan's almost exactly the same. Except he starts screaming out of his mind, screaming.
There's bees in his car? His car's on fire? Is there some sort of emergency situation?
It's weird.
Yeah.
He's more violent than he needs to be, in my opinion. So he slams on his brakes. We were going 3, one of those sides, but I'm forced to slam on my brakes to not him. So I lay on the horn. He flips me off. I flip him off. He yells stupid stuff. I yell stupid stuff. And while this is happening, we're moving in 5-foot increments, and he keeps slamming his brakes on. Like, am I driving? I'm not driving away. If you want some of this, mister, I'm right here. Like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell what he's saying? Like, can you hear the words? Okay. Just
there's the FUs I've heard clearly. But so finally, he does the brake thing again. I do the brake thing again. Now, I open my door all the way and step out immediately. I'm going to have words with this young man.
Yeah.
And I have plans for this because I've been in this situation a lot. I know what to do. For example, if he's a big giant killer, you get back in the car.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten fully behind. There's a door in front of me. I've been here before. So out jumps this guy, and he's mad. He's also about my height and 140 pounds.
Oh, now it's on.
Yes, exactly. And I'm thinking in my head, well, you shouldn't do this, dude. You're gonna get killed. Now I'm not gonna be the one to do it, but I'm also not gonna back up. It's something stupid. Blah, blah, blah. So I decided what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna march at him at a good clip, because that's frightening. A guy who's mad at you going fast forward.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to decide all the things you thought you might do are out the window.
Right, because you thought you might do those things, but then you also hoped he was going to stay behind his door. You don't think the other guy's going to come at you. You think you're going to scream and he's going to back down.
Yes, that's fairly fair. What I think is he'll see in the moves I make, because I'm not yelling.
Yeah,
I'm doing the right stuff. It's like I know the version of stop, drop, and roll for a stupid fight in the street in Queen Anne.
right.
So he jumps out, and he's my height, about 140 pounds, which is thin, but more important, paisley shorts. Like he's going golfing or to have a lobster roll in New Hampshire. All right, I'm pretty sure I can beat up any guy at 140 pounds in paisley shorts. So he starts walking up here. Oh, man, I want out of this. I don't want, because he's walking at me with intent, man. Yeah. So I'm still trying to scare him, and he does exactly this. Oh, Danny.
Really?
Like he's been expecting me all day, but somewhere else. Like, weren't you supposed to be at the mall? Oh, Danny. So now it's off. Everything went fine. Everything's great. I tell him how sorry I was. I didn't mean to cut him off. I was going straight, blah, blah, blah. I explained myself. And most of it is true. I had no intent to do anything bad to the guy.
Yeah.
But he goes, you'd expect more from a guy in the program.
Oh.
Well, I assume he means me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he means him.
Oh.
And I said, but I didn't catch that at first. And I said, what's your name? His name's Joe, by the way. Hi, Joe, if you're listening.
Well, that's not very anonymous.
Why? Are we in a meeting?
That works.
No. You're allowed to say the words anonymous. So he says, oh, Danny. And so it's off. But here's what happens, and it's kind of weird. He gets over apologetic. He says, no. I said, nothing happened, man. We're fine. We're kind of stupid grown-ups, but we're good. Forget about it. What's your name? Joe, good to see you. How the hell are you? Sorry we're so dumb, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I'm really sorry. I have to start working on my spirituality, which is so none of my business that you need to get good with God. And so he says, I have to do that. And then there's people around. And he starts doing the namaste bow in the middle of the street. My apologies. My sincere apologies. Come on, don't be weirder than you were. Right. So I went out and I tweeted this, and he wrote back to me.
Oh, wow.
He's still bowing. He's still going, oh, man, I was so sorry. You are overly sorry. We're just stupid.
News is brought to you by Johnson RV. Police arrested a 31-year-old man for allegedly driving under the influence and killing a pedestrian overnight in Everett. This happened just after 3 a.m. Police and fire crews from Everett were called to the northbound State Route 529. A male pedestrian had been killed, a male driver arrested at the scene. Now, we are not sure why the pedestrian was in the roadway at the time, but this has been a bit of a traffic nightmare that Derek will continue to keep you posted with as the morning continues. Again, the investigation still closing these roadways. And yesterday we talked about the sad hit and run of a Port Orchard grandfather. Well, the perpetrator of the crime turned herself in yesterday. The 29-year-old woman suspected in this hit and run death was booked into Kitsap County Jail. Allie Rochelle Giannini, age 29, is the one who is suspected of driving the Chevy Cruze that struck and killed him. Now, a friend of hers said that she had called to say she was having trouble staying awake while driving. What we don't know is if there was anything else contributing to that.
Yeah. And for the most part, you won't know now. Too much time has
for
passed.
Drugs?
Yeah.
Well, she had some search warrants out for her because of some drug stuff. I don't know how long meth stays in your body.
A week or so, but not if you want it out in a big way and you just drown your kidneys. I could get you some meth out of your system in about 2, maybe 3 days.
Wow.
Her bail has been set at $1 million. She will be in court later this morning. And a lot of people a little upset with Amazon yesterday. You know, people got very excited for the highly anticipated Prime Day, which started yesterday. But when it started at noon our time, a lot of the websites were not working. So if you clicked to buy a specific item that was on super sale, you couldn't click through.
You know, I'd be mad because I'm inconvenienced. I'm not getting whatever it is that I want, and I'm not getting it nearly as fast as I want.
Yeah.
But I think it's too early to go, oh, what? Computer glitches happen at a thing that has a million, you know what I mean? Like, we still expect that. We still expect our favorite sites to go down every now and again. I would.
I experienced it, and I just assumed it was an abundance of traffic. There were so many people buying those products, which in the past few years when they've done this, they've had so much traffic. Yep. So I wasn't, I had to click a couple extra times before something popped up that I actually didn't need, but you just go, oh, but it's 45% off. I gotta have it.
The thing I don't need is cheaper than it was yesterday.
Exactly, yeah.
So did you make purchases, Paul?
I didn't. My mom ended up making some purchases. She rebought something she already owns, which I didn't really understand.
That's weird.
This one was cheaper. I'm like, what are you going to do with the other one? Are you going to sell it?
Yeah, it's for a little money.
Well, it does continue today, this Amazon Prime Day continuing. So lots of great deals. You just got to make sure that websites aren't crashing.
Yeah, if you can get them.
Yeah, if you can get around it. Now they say one way to do that is to go to smile.amazon.com, which is instead of just straight up amazon.com. If you do that, that's a click through to have a portion go to charity.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is go through that URL instead, and then you won't have any crash issues.
But I have to help someone, whether I want to or not.
They help them.
But you choose the charity, so you can set it up for whatever.
This seems like an
charity
extra step for. I want a ham. I want to buy a ham.
Right.
So Nature Conservancy is what mine goes through. So when I go to Amazon, I go to smile.amazon.com, and then they send money to the Nature Conservancy.
That's
pretty
sweet
nice.
of them. Yeah, it is.
I don't have to do anything.
I don't think it's really coming from their top dollar.
I know there's a chance that you pay a tiny bit extra and that you're really sending the money, but
aside from that, it's a lovely gesture.
Something a little crazy happened in Hawaii yesterday. An explosion sent lava crashing through the roof of a tour boat off of the Big Island, injuring 23 people.
Tour boat. Nope.
A woman in her 20s was in serious condition with a broken thigh bone.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Yep.
Is the thigh bone the same as the femur?
I'm not sure.
You've got
I thought that was
two.
lower.
It seems like a really big bone to break.
I know the thigh bone's connected to the knee bone.
And how do you know that?
Because I've heard that song before. The thigh bone's connected to the knee bone.
What's after that? The knee bone's
connected to the
femur.
And then the femur's connected to the... Okay.
Yeah. Now, 3 other people were in stable condition with a variety of injuries. The rest of the people suffered burns, scrapes, and other superficial injuries, but they were on a tour boat that was taking visitors to see lava plunging into the ocean, which sounds pretty neat.
Yeah.
I think we'd all like to see some lava plunging into the ocean.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden it went pa-pow!
Pa-pow.
And lava went flying through the air and landed on the boat. And as you know, lava's kind of hot.
Yeah, and rocks, lava or no lava, you think it's probably heavy and it comes flying out of the sky, it's going to do some damage.
Right. You are correct, Danny. The femur is the thigh bone. Happens to be the longest bone in the human body.
Yes.
Yeah.
All that part I knew.
Also,
I just couldn't
femur. I don't even know her.
Yeah.
But I hope she's doing better.
Yeah. Well, she broke her leg,
Yeah.
Her tibia, it was, I think.
Federal prosecutors in Washington revealed yesterday they have arrested a 29-year-old woman accused of acting as a covert agent inside the U.S. on behalf of a senior Kremlin official.
Oh!
They announced the arrest of Maria Butina, which came just hours after President Trump met with Vlad Putin, just days after.
Vlad? You guys have gotten close since the last report?
Ever since, my trip to Russia.
Sure.
We're
You guys went
thick as
horseback riding?
Yep.
Shirtless?
Shirtless?
Yeah, we wrestle bears.
Yeah.
So this comes just days after Special Counsel Robert Mueller charged 12 Russian intelligence agents with those hacking.
But those guys weren't
efforts.
here, right? Those guys were in Russia. This is the first person who's been in the U.S., right?
Yes. This woman.
Is that right?
Yes.
Didn't they deport a whole bunch of people, or was that a different incident?
That was different. They deported them, but that wasn't because they were part of this hacking or that they knew they were part of this hacking.
The people that were sent back home were Russian delegates, and when they closed ours, we closed theirs.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, get out of here. No, this was a woman who met with U.S. politicians, candidates, attended events by special interest groups, the National Prayer breakfasts, and they said she was reporting everything back to Moscow.
Would you, this girl's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Would you immediately reject a girl? So she comes on to you.
Yeah.
Looks like you're not a married man. She comes on to you. She makes it pretty clear sex is in your future. What do you automatically turn her down because she's a Russian spy, or do you say that's none of my business?
I think being with a Russian spy sounds actually pretty awesome.
Hey, you're my kind of boy.
Like, sorry, America, but come on.
I'm not going to tell him. I don't even know any secrets.
Exactly, yeah.
Adidas is racing to make its products more sustainable. The global sportswear maker said yesterday it is committed to using only recycled plastic by 2024. This is called eliminating what is called virgin plastic, including polyester.
You don't have to. You're not going to have to eliminate virgins. There's nowhere to be found.
It'll be used in everything from T-shirts, sports bras. They said the material is very popular because it dries quickly, weighs very little, but they will stop using virgin plastic in its offices, its retail outlets, warehouses, distribution centers. They believe this could save 40 tons of plastic per year.
Wow.
They'll start it at the end of this or later this year, but then hope to only use recycled plastic by 2024.
And they won't give you a straw.
That's
I
right.
don't understand that part.
Yep. A British sports car that crashed into a tree on Saturday had been owned for only a day and represented a loss in the hundreds of thousands. Police were called to the scene of a car crash. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
But when they got there, they found a McLaren 720S.
Jeez.
Used $317,000.
You know, is that what it is? I thought all McLaren started $1 million.
Well, not in its current condition.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not anymore.
Those people would be so bummed. I told you about that girl I saw crash an AC Cobra, $750,000 Cobra, pulling out of the car dealership parking lot.
Jeez.
Just gave it some gas to cross the street, and it just spun sideways, and I forget what it crashed into, but it was completely totaled, and she couldn't have gone 300 feet.
Wow.
The owner tweeted the picture, purchase Friday, totaled Saturday.
I don't know how funny that is going to be when your insurance company wants an explanation.
Yeah.
Well, and is there one? Did he crash into anything, or did he just lose control of a fast car?
Yeah, they say most of the time it is because you're not used to driving that sort of vehicle.
Right.
They're still doing some investigating, but the man, thankfully, who was driving was not injured. But
That's funny. That never entered my mind.
Right? Who cares about the guy?
I mean, I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. Maybe he has some kids. Who knows? A decent guy. That's a McLaren, and he crashed at day one.
I guess the upside, if there is one, is that vehicle holds its value. Other cars, you drive off the lot, and it might lose 20% in value just because you drove it a block. That car's still worth, I mean, it was, before the accident. For insurance purposes, that car's still worth likely what he paid for.
Yeah, no, they'll have to, you're absolutely right. They'll have to replace that car.
Right.
Well, we were just talking about Amazon Prime Day. And in an effort to combat people going to Amazon in droves, Walmart has been coming up with all sorts of campaigns. They're doing free shipping, the 2-day shipping. Target also trying to compete with Amazon. So much so that they have announced their own mega website sale, no membership required. So that's their big selling point. In order to take advantage of Amazon Prime Day, you need to be an Amazon Prime member, which is $100 a year.
I think they might be right. If I were a single fella trying to take care of myself, I would never join anything like Amazon. I don't even understand how to join things like Amazon. I would go to the store, like I always have. The generation behind me is always going to do it. I think it's going to be a given. With people that are 10, 11 years old now, that's the only way to shop in the future.
Well, this is still online. This is still, Target has a good website where you can purchase just about everything. But what they're trying to do is simply compete with Amazon Prime Day. So they announced their own, which is going to be July 17th. So they're just going to have...
That's today, right?
What was that?
Today, right?
Oh, that is today.
Yeah.
Wow, I made it. To me, I was like, that's the future. That's like end of the month. No, today is, oh my gosh, it's today.
I know sometimes things are a little different. You get a little less rest than any other day. But the 17th is never the end of the month.
That's true.
I was thinking like,
positive.
it's weeks away. Like this is the beginning of July. That's like towards the end of the month.
Yeah.
No, we're like smack dab on the 17th already.
It's really become like a new Black Friday because this Amazon Prime Day has become so huge just in the last 2 years. all these other sites are starting to do big sales as well, and people are buying a ton of merchandise.
Well, what they're offering at the big Target sale happening today, 30% off Google products like Google Home, which is, of course, one of Amazon's biggest competitors. So you have Google Home, right, Danny?
I have a Google speaker.
Yeah. Same thing.
And Paul, do you have Alexa?
We have Alexa, yeah.
Right. So y'all are competing. So Target taking on Amazon is now selling the Google stuff at a discount because that's the big competitor.
So does your Google speaker, your smart speaker, does that have to be hooked up to anything? Because all I do is ask it questions all day.
It's just hooked up to your home network, your wireless network.
So
it's hooked up to the internet.
I could order something on that thing and it'd be delivered.
It's not that. I mean, Alexa specifically links to Amazon and orders stuff. I don't know that if Google Home does that or not. I'm not sure.
So if I want to order some parsley, if I said, "Hey, Google,"
you might have to come over to my house to do
that's
so.
what I thought.
But or
you
Amy
can just
probably could set that up if she has linked accounts, and I'm going to guess there's a reason yours is not, Danny.
They're probably.
Who knows how much parsley you would order?
I like parsley, man.
Who doesn't?
Police in London said a terrified woman called 911 to report a burglar. She was terrified. Calls and says, "There's a burglar in my house. There's so many crazy loud noises downstairs. I don't know what's happening."
Uh-oh.
She's hiding upstairs, waiting for that burglar to come and get her. Well, the police arrive at the scene, bust the door down, and found a rogue squirrel.
Man, I had a mountain lion.
In London, huh?
A squirrel, although they can be noisy. I had squirrels running around the inside of my walls at some place I lived.
Yeah.
And until you got used to it and just hated it, it was frightening. There was a lot of noise. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, he's rummaging through your stuff. He's got that little ski mask on.
You never know. Gun, opposable thumbs.
I mean, if you've ever had an outdoor pet, an outdoor animal, get into your house, it freaks out trying to get out. So I can imagine this squirrel was like, "Oh my gosh, Becky, how do I get out of this tacky house?" And then it's bumping into walls and windows and causing chaos.
Chaos.
The police said the squirrel was not arrested and was released without charges.
Who's got tiny little cuffs like that?
What do we know about Australia?
It's down under.
Yeah, that's right. A dingo eats all the babies?
Yep.
The toilets do not flush backwards.
I know. I'm so disappointed in that.
I went all the way over there just to find that out. Super lame. No, Danny, I'm pretty sure you're the one who told us it is home to the most venomous creatures in the world.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, northern Australia's wilderness just got a little bit more dangerous. Scientists have discovered a new species of venomous snake.
What do you mean?
It's a bandy snake.
Yeah.
Vermicilla parscuada, brand new snake that they have discovered.
That's crazy that can still happen in this day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think we would have found everything we're going to find.
I mean, that's the home of the black mamba. That's like as crazy as God can do stuff.
The basketball player?
Yes.
Yeah, they were out there doing some kind of count for the...
They're counting all the snakes.
Yes.
Look, there's another one. Hey, stay still.
He looks so much like the other snake. That's not the same snake, is it?
So they were doing a count of a sea snake, and the species they said is pretty small, but then they found this snake that they said is a burrowing snake, and that's why they've never found it before. And as I said, this is a Vermicilla parscuada, and it is venomous.
Venomous to the point of kill you dead?
Well, you're not supposed to suck it out, so I'm just going to cut you off right there, Paul.
Paul, she ruined your little lame joke.
They said because it's pretty small, chances are you would not die. You'd have to fall into a pit, like Indiana Jones.
I heard the small ones are worse. Not of this snake, obviously, because there was no new snake. But I always heard growing up, because there were rattlesnakes all over the hills where I was raised. And they always said, "Oh, no, the baby ones are much worse." Was that people just saying stuff?
No, I don't mean a baby snake. I mean that this is a small species of snake, and therefore the venom is not as, according to scientists, this venom is not as potent because it's a smaller snake.
I think it'd be more concentrated because it's such a small snake.
That's what
And
I
watch
thought
out
was
for the
saying.
baby ones of the smaller species.
Exactamente.
Possible. Well, all I know is we should not be going to Australia to find out
No.
for ourselves.
But
how
I'm not going
venomous they
anywhere
are.
in the world to see anything about a snake ever.
Yeah, me.
Shine snakes.
Police say a woman was hanging out at the Jersey Shore this week. Beautiful day at the beach. All across America, it's hot, and people are going out to the water in droves. Well, not only was it hot, it was a bit windy. There was a huge gust of wind, picked up a beach umbrella, and impaled her.
Oh.
It impaled her with such force through her ankle, it was driven completely through, and they couldn't free her. They had to get bolt cutters to cut her off, lift her leg out.
Jeez.
And they took her to the hospital. We're not sure how she is, but it impaled her with such force, went back into the ground. They could not get it out.
I think we can be sure that she's not great. Like, we're not sure how she is. I'm guessing not great.
The beach, especially in New Jersey, can be a dangerous place.
I would not have thought wind like that. I would have thought that would have to be hundreds of miles, like a Hurricane 1 or 5, whatever the hell it is.
Well, have you seen the way beach umbrellas are now? It looks like a spear, and you slam it down into the sand with that pointy spear part, and then you're supposed to kind of hammer it down. So if that comes out, it really is, like I said, a spear.
With the umbrellas being like a spear, here's where my life is super stupid. So I'm walking out of a door in Florida, me and Hulk Hogan, and I take a hit off my cigarette and I throw it on the ground, and he stares at me and he looks mad, and he pulls an umbrella out of this table and stabs it and picks it up and says, "You go put this out." And then the commercial was over for our television shows. He was doing whatever it is knows best, and I was doing what stupid show I was doing. But it was funny, that bit.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida Story of the Day.
Yay!
A man in Florida tried to rob a bank. He did what a lot of bank robbers do, put on a ski mask.
Sure.
But he walks into the bank, he's wearing a flannel shirt, like a big, heavy flannel shirt to hide his weapons. And he's wearing a ski mask. He opens the door and they said, call the cops.
Right.
It's 90 degrees in Florida right now. It's the middle of summer in one of the hottest places in the country. They knew right away he was there to rob the bank.
Yeah.
Well, he was wearing a ski mask over his face and walking into a business?
He was wearing a big flannel shirt, walks through the door. They said, uh-oh. He puts on the ski mask, call the cops right away. They were there before he could turn around.
Those bank guys, they should be detectives. So that guy in the ski mask in the middle of the day is going to rob us.
With the gun.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
And the canvas bag with the big dollar sign on it.
Yeah.
Wearing a monocle.
News brought to you by Johnson RV. Big news from Johnny Depp this morning. A very cool record has been set on YouTube by a very big KZOK band. We've got those stories for you next. And in sports, what Seahawk is making some big demands of the team? We will talk about that next. Starting with music news, Guns N' Roses have broken a YouTube record thanks to their video for November Rain. It was released in 1992, was featured on the album Use Your Illusion, which was launched years before, but it has now broken through the 1 billion views mark.
Wow. I don't remember it being that great.
Oh, great video. Really?
He's getting married to the girl and the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's epic. It tells an entire story. It's like 10 minutes long.
You know what was epic about that as far as I was concerned was the rumor that Axl Rose had gotten a real minister and was going to marry her without telling her.
I remember that.
Remember that? Yeah. Which I don't know that stands up legally, by the way,
Right.
but I remember that.
I'm pretty sure she has to sign something.
They usually do.
Well, this is the first video from the 90s to reach this landmark. Now, this was his then-girlfriend, Stephanie Seymour. It was Slash, and it was a church in New Mexico. It averaged 560,000 views per day.
Wow.
Through 2017.
Jeez.
And 83% of the views came from countries outside the U.S., led by Brazil, Mexico, and Argentina.
I'm shocked by that. Not that they like Guns N' Roses, just that many people anywhere outside the U.S. and especially English-speaking countries, I guess.
Well, the video second to that, Sweet Child of Mine, which has been viewed 694 million times. Paradise City, 398 million.
Wow.
I don't remember Paradise City being anything of interest. I think it's just him doing his weird Axl dance on a stage.
Then I can't tell because I've got it confused with Welcome to the Jungle and things like that.
Yeah.
You better not take it from me. That was my impression.
I thought that was Ethel Merman. That was not bad.
He's based on that.
Guns N' Roses are currently on tour across Europe. We'll head to the Far East in November, and they are loved worldwide.
Yeah, oh, sure they are.
I think
they're one of the greatest rock and roll bands ever.
We've been hearing so much about Johnny Depp for the past, is it 2 years now, when he initially started going through his divorce with then-wife Amber Heard. She alleged all sorts of stuff, that he hit her, he threw stuff, that he was volatile. Then he gets into the debate with his former management company.
Sure, that's been nothing but press.
Nothing but press.
Butt press.
I'm sorry. Like when you said butt press, I thought, yeah, we could let it slide. And then Sarah immediately says butt press.
No, that's butt press.
You do that on leg day, right? The butt press.
Yes.
See, I was thinking I'm juicing grapes.
Oh.
I'm putting them right in the butt
That's
press.
an odd way to do it.
Well, you don't know how I like to drink, man.
Well, he was suing his former managers, his former management company for $25 million. They have now settled. The case was supposed to go to court in 1 month, and they have decided to settle. The quote is, Johnny Depp is pleased to have achieved a settlement agreement with the management group following the legal action he took against the company in 2017. What we don't know.
But weren't they suing him as well? For defamation and slander and libel and that.
All I know is his side, which is alleging the company improperly managed his money.
Right. And he was spending $12 million a month or something crazy. $30,000 a month on wine, which he said, 50.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Well, I think he was suing them, and they were just countering verbally, saying he mismanaged his own money by spending $30,000 a month on wine. I don't know of them suing him back. All I know is he sued them. They were going to court in a month, and that company has now settled with him.
Okay, because I read it and I couldn't decide who settled with who.
Yeah.
The company settled. Well, Johnny Depp accepted their settlement offer. So Johnny Depp sues them.
Right.
We're going to court tomorrow. And they said, well, how about we settle out of court? Here's $5. And he said, okay, I accept your settlement.
Right.
But we don't think it's $5.
Yeah, it seems like he would need more than $5.
Well, he shouldn't need any.
But it seems like he does the way he spends the money. Yeah.
Which makes those guys not such bad guys.
Right.
If he needs money this early.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we do not know how much. And he does seem to be burning through loot.
See, that was the thing. I couldn't tell who settled because it doesn't say anything about who. Johnny Depp just says, I'm thrilled we reached a settlement. Not I and not they. So I don't really know what happened.
Yeah.
Right. But again, he sued them. They're not suing him.
Right, but you can still settle either side. They can say, all right, we'll settle with you. Or he can say, you know what, I'm tired of suing you guys. I just don't know what happened. It sounds like the company folded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, he gave the big interview that we talked about a couple weeks ago with Rolling Stone, where he says, yeah, he's burning through money. Why not?
Good for him.
He still has a ton of money. He still has millions of dollars. So why not spend $50,000 a month on wine?
And there was a movie called Brewster's Millions where it was your job to spend like $5 million and have nothing left over when you're done. It's next to impossible. Houses, boats, no matter how much they depreciate or in cars, they're still worth something.
Right.
So when he finally goes all broke, I'll bet he still has $200 million worth of crap.
That's exactly what his net worth currently is estimated at,
200
million. Just 2 years ago, it was estimated at 400 million.
Yeah.
But
he's down at 200 million since a couple of years ago.
So,
man, you're living right.
Check back in 2020, see how Johnny Depp's doing.
Now, I'm not on his side. Don't get me wrong. But if you have $400 million and your business managers mismanage your money, I'm pissed.
Right.
If I blew $200,000, $1 million rather, I'm not going to be pissed because I spent it.
You're going to have paper cuts.
He's mad because he says they did something wrong with his money. He has no problem spending the money.
Right.
He doesn't want it to be mismanaged.
Fair enough. It's his
right?
money. Yeah.
Brewster's Millions, by the way, one of the best movies of all time.
Really? A bigger fan?
Oh, yeah. Richard Pryor. It's fantastic.
By the way, it's a remake of a remake. If
Really?
you want to see more movies. Yeah. It's there's a couple of them.
Nice.
Arizona State University is awarding its 2018 Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism to CNN anchor Anderson Cooper.
Really?
He'll receive the award October 17th in Phoenix from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication.
I say no.
No?
No, because he's not that kind of reporter. He's a let's do New Year's with Kathy Griffin reporter. Let's
He was,
giggle
though.
and be
I mean-
weird. No, in my opinion, never a hard-hitting journalist that invests.
Wasn't he like a war correspondent? And
Wait, who are we talking about now?
Anderson Cooper?
Anderson Cooper's super interesting. I'll be brief. He rented cameras and paid people. He didn't have a job, and he went to hotspots and made reports and sent them to CNN, and they went, yeah, okay, you're hired.
Nice.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, that is neat.
Well,
Give that guy an award.
Totally. Yeah, right now I feel different.
He's been with CNN since 2001, a regular contributor to 60 Minutes since 2006. 34 previous Cronkite Award winners include Bob Woodward, Tom Brokaw, Al Michaels, Scott Pelley, Diane Sawyer, and that's just scratching the surface.
What about Brian Williams?
I agree with-
he says.
I agree with every one of those.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit yesterday about the Bruce Willis roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, some of the jokes leaked out, but the actual roast will not be airing until the end of the month, July 29th, Comedy Central. Something else, though, has leaked out.
Ew.
We finally have a definitive answer to the age-old question
Yeah.
whether the 1988 action classic Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's been a debate
Yeah.
since the movie came out.
It
Not in
shouldn't
my
be.
house.
Totally a Christmas movie.
Okay, I was going to say on 1, 2, 3, but yeah,
Oh, sorry.
totally. Sorry. What do I care?
You wanna do it
Totally
again?
a Christmas
1,
movie.
2, 3, Christmas movie.
Well, in the movie, John McClane, played by Bruce Willis, visits his estranged wife and 2 kids during Christmas Eve at a party at his wife's workplace, and
Yep.
therefore the debate has centered on what is it a Christmas movie?
Yes.
In his final monologue, the Comedy Central roast of Bruce Willis, the actor, said, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Well, he's wrong.
Yeah. What does that guy know anyway?
Yes. What does that guy know?
Well, I suppose if anyone's the authority, you'd think it would be him.
No, I think it
No.
would be Danny and I.
Or the writer that wrote it,
Yeah, maybe.
or the director whose vision it is, not the hired help that says words.
Exactly.
Some of the people
By
who
the way, I'm a big fan of him, but now he disagrees with me. I'm mad.
Some of the people who are there: Edward Norton, Sybil Shepherd, Jeffrey Ross, Kevin Pollak, Nikki Glazer, Demi Moore, and Dennis Rodman, who apparently tanked.
Oh, really? That
Well,
doesn't surprise me.
You can't understand him.
Yeah.
You're too difficult to understand. And it feels, it's super awkward. You ever been around, and I'll just go with any person, but I'll go with the British, who are definitely speaking English to you,
Yeah.
and you have no idea.
Yeah.
What? So, and then you feel really stupid going, what? I'm sorry, what are you saying? Or you feel too stupid.
I spent 5 days in Dublin not having any clue what anybody was saying. And I was there with classmates from Denmark from when I was an exchange student. And so they're all looking at me to translate. And I'm like, I have no idea what anyone is saying.
You got to slow down.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
And Heche is returning to television for a guest arc on the upcoming 6th season of Chicago PD. She'll play a deputy superintendent who is smart and political, but often self-serving. So Chicago PD, very successful Dick
Yeah.
Wolf show on NBC, and Heche, have not seen much of her.
Haven't seen. She comes and goes because I just assumed she was through and ruined. You just can't be that crazy and
Yeah.
have anybody thinking, sure, I'm going to insure this actor that they're going to deliver before they fall apart. I remember she said that she speaks to aliens and all the time. So Barbara Walters is interviewing her, and she's just going to cave right now. She's going to be a weirdo. Barbara Walters says, "So you speak to aliens?" And she said, "Yeah." And she goes, "What do they sound like?" And instead of saying you wouldn't understand and whatever, she just looks at Barbara Walters and goes, "Boop, boop, ba-doop, boop, 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 ba-doop," for like a minute. And you got to give it to her for the huevos on that girl to do that.
Yeah, I can't remember if she said she was bipolar.
Bisexual at Polar Bear.
And I definitely got the vibe that she is not actually bi, that she was with Ellen DeGeneres to further her career.
That's not bad.
Rugrats is coming back to
I didn't know
Nickelodeon.
she was with Ellen DeGeneres.
Long time ago.
Thank you.
Rugrats is heading back to Nickelodeon. The series return was announced with a 26-episode green light from Nickelodeon and a live-action movie. Now it'll feature CGI characters. Both the TV series and the movie will include the new adventures of Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil, Susie, and
Oh.
of course, Angelica.
Cool.
Rugrats, Paul, is that one watched in your household?
No, we haven't started that one yet. And I didn't really watch it as a kid. I mean, I was aware of it, but I don't remember watching it.
I saw the Rugrats movie, and I'm not positive I had a kid with me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I may have. I don't know. It depends on what year that came out. But I was a fan of the Rugrats.
At least once a week, I'll be watching TV like at nighttime, and I'll go 20 minutes before I realize I'm on the Disney Channel or Disney Junior, and I'm looking around going, hey, my kid went to bed already. What am I doing?
Rugrats debuted in 1991.
Oh, yeah. No, I had a kid.
You did. It doesn't mean you were with them at the movies.
No, but it's much more. Why would I leave them at home to go watch Rugrats?
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports
Brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Earl Thomas, Seattle Seahawks, jumped on social media yesterday with a couple of bold statements. He said, extend. If you don't want me, let's make a trade happen. I understand it's a biz.
No, because halfway through that, I was mad at him. And I went, oh, no, he's right.
You should still be mad at him. I mean, he's under contract, and he's not showing up to required minicamp.
And they can't, there's no recourse for that?
Fines. So he loses out on some money, and the more that he doesn't show up for, the more money he loses out on. But the big money starts once the
And he's
season
already
starts.
big money, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he like, whatever his position is, he's the 8th highest paid in the league?
He's one of the top paid, yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to be the highest paid, and that's what he is asking for.
And he wants to play for the Cowboys. You know,
That's what I've heard.
He grew up in Texas. He went to college in Texas. Last season, he ran up to the Cowboys coach and said, "Come after me, come get me."
Yeah.
He wants to play for the Cowboys, and
that is bad form.
And no, it totally is. And I'm a big fan of Earl Thomas, but I think he's looking around, going, "We were this elite defense." And now all of that's gone. I'm one of the only guys left, and he kind of wants it out.
Did anybody else watch the Home Run Derby last night, or am I the only baseball nerd?
I watched it.
Yeah. Who the heck is Max Muncy?
Max Muncy was dumped by the Oakland Athletics after he was drafted by them. He went on to a high school practice and actually got signed on by the Dodgers.
That's crazy.
As a high school player?
No, it was after he didn't have any teams interested in him, and he just showed up at a high school and took some hits, and the Dodgers saw the footage and said, "Hey, man, come try out for us."
That's crazy.
Like the Tebow kind of situation where he held his own like scouting days. You know, hey, come see me at the park.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Well, so we're watching the Home Run Derby last night, and they're like, Max Muncy's participant. I'm like, I literally have never heard of Max Muncy, and I don't spend as much time watching National League games.
Yeah.
But he is a relative unknown.
Is he a regular everyday player for the A's?
He was
not for the A's, the
called
Dodgers?
up from the minors in April of this year, so he hasn't even been in the bigs for too long.
Nice.
Crazy story. And next thing you know, he's at the Home Run Derby. Tell me this, Derek. What the heck was on Bryce Harper's head?
Bryce Harper was feeling pretty patriotic last night, rocking a USA headband and a full sleeve of the American flag.
Neat.
It was awesome. And also, like, all the players were having a great time. A lot of camaraderie. They were cheering each other on, hugging each other after some big at-bats. Like, it was really cool. They were having a great time.
It's nice to see because they're on different teams. So it's nice to see them come together and, like congratulate each other. Like, oh, you hit a lot of home runs, hug each other, even though we're on opposite teams.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the camaraderie. Well, Bryce Harper looked like Olivia Newton-John, but he also...
He did really kind of... His dad didn't know. His dad's jacked. That's what everybody's talking about, too. It's like, who knew Bryce Harper's dad was like... He looks like a bodybuilder, like an Olympic weightlifter.
He might be.
Yeah.
He's a handsome fella.
I'm surprised he could throw the ball because he's so muscly.
How old is he, the dad?
I mean, he's...
Probably 50.
Yeah, probably 50.
Yeah, so if he had passed a drug test for the team, he would fail immediately.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's an asterisk next to his name just for getting out there and pitching to his son.
Well, Bryce Harper's dad looked good. Kyle Schwarber looked good.
But it was all about Bryce Harper. In the final round, it did come down to Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. Schwarber went first. He ended up with 18 home runs. Harper came up, wasn't doing great in the beginning, but near the end of regulation, he went deep 9 times in the span of 10 swings.
Crazy.
Which is insane, to tie it up. And then they went to bonus time, and on the second pitch of bonus time, Harper hit a giant, monstrous home run over the center field fence to win the whole thing, and he was so pumped up after that. He was running around, going crazy. His dad was going crazy. Like, it was super fun to watch.
You'd think he had just won the World Series. He was so excited.
He hit a home run and went crazy. His dad, that's roid rage, if you ask me.
I miss Chris Berman a little bit, though. Back.
Yeah.
I know it annoyed everybody, but I loved it. Back.
You can just do it all
I
show.
will. I'll do that.
No, but you know what? Some really annoying people at that particular position
Yeah.
are super annoying. Like Harry Carey out of Chicago, legendary.
Yeah.
Couldn't be weirder. And he's singing and
I
stuff. Those
loved
crazy
it.
glasses. Yeah, he was a superstar.
Bob
when I was there.
Uecker's a bit of a
But
nod.
I love Euchre.
Yeah.
Today, the MLB 2018 All-Star Game happens. First pitch is at 6, and it will be Max Scherzer pitching against Chris Sale. Basketball tomorrow, the Storm play the Chicago Sky at 9. In golf, we've got another big tournament coming up, the British Open, and that is returning to Scotland to the Carnoustie Championship course for the first time in over 10 years. And odds-on favorites start with Dustin Johnson, followed by Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, and Ricky Fowler.
Which one do we go first?
I wanna
Fowler
go-
or
see,
Dustin Johnson?
I wanted to go with Dusty Johnson.
That
Well,
is his
maybe
real
you should
name.
take it outside a little more often. Wow, you guys.
Yep. That's your sports. It's brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Call these guys if you get a DUI because not because you love them, but because you need them, man. Don't call. You got to call a lawyer. If you get a DUI in the state of Washington, your life could be changed. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and they will meet you in Seattle, Everett, and Tacoma free of charge. So if the unfortunate happens to you and you get a DUI, don't delay. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
A lot of show coming up. 7:50, a filthy forecast, and 7:20, you can win a pair of tickets to see Rob Schneider next Saturday night at the Skagit Valley Casino Resort.
I'm excited about the game that's coming up at 7:20 this morning. It's called It's a Fine Line. And if you play it and then, of course, win it, you're going to win a pair of tickets to see everybody's favorite, Rob Schneider. And he is coming to the Skagit Valley Casino Resort. So be here at 7:20.
That game went much better than I was expecting yesterday.
Yeah.
What'd you expect?
Not to somebody to get it on the first try and know exactly the movie and be able to say it and reenact it.
Yeah, it was
That's
certainly a fan.
That is so weird, though, because I thought nobody can possibly miss these. What was one of them was all the gin joints in all the world?
Right, yeah.
Casablanca.
That's definitely Rob Schneider.
I could have been a contender.
Marlon Brando and the contender.
Right.
There is a crazy story making news about a couple of young dudes who hopped a train. Now, Danny and Paul have both said they hopped trains when they were kids, and typically, maybe it's a time thing because back in the way olden days, hobos would ride the rails.
Yeah.
The trains went a
They'd
lot
also
slower.
be called hobos.
Yeah.
Back in the way olden days when we called people hobos.
Hey, there is a hobo convention that happens to this day, my friend.
Yeah?
But it used to be safer to ride the rails.
Yeah.
Because trains didn't go 100 miles an hour.
But they had hobos. Aren't hobos dangerous?
No, not necessarily, but I'm saying like physically it wasn't dangerous to get off and on a train because we didn't have high-speed trains.
Well, once a train's, say I'm on a train.
Yeah.
And it's going all of 20, not 200, 20.
Yeah.
That's it. I can't jump now.
Right.
Well, these kids jumped.
It was always dangerous. We were just
Always,
stupid and
yeah.
didn't care.
These kids jumped a train. It did not slow down for hundreds of miles. We're talking like 60. They could not get off this train. Even if they wanted to be
Right.
badasses, it never slowed down. They were so scared, they called 911.
I think that's exactly what we're talking about. The trains, like, they don't have to go that fast. And we weren't trying to be tough.
Right. But, Danny, you said at one point you went too far and you finally did get off and then you had to call your mom to pick you up.
Totally accurate information.
But these kids were hundreds of miles away in the middle of nowhere.
I never got, I think we ended up in Anaheim, maybe 60 miles. So
Right.
but 60 miles from home when you're 11 or 12, and to throw my extra weirdness in it, famous. It's a weird
Right,
thing
yeah.
to be walking down the street going, oh man, I just jumped off a train. My mom's going to kill me.
And we didn't have cell phones, so it's not like
Yeah.
you could call for help
Exactly.
while you're on the train.
Well, it's one of those you look back and think, well, that was probably a pretty regrettable decision.
Yeah.
Nothing terrible happened. it could have been worse.
Yeah, I've had so many of those. It didn't seem like that bad as one time. Now, I've been riding horses my whole life. That doesn't mean you should be stupid. I always ride when I was a kid. I always ride bareback, which is dumb. You're only showing off. There's no good reason. And you're getting horse sweat and hair on it. It's just gross. I also often didn't use a bridle. I didn't want to put anything in my horse's mouth. That was cruel. So I just a halter and a rope. So I'm showing off, and I said to this girl, we're up on top of some mountain that we'd ridden to, about 3 miles from where you keep your horses, and I just pulled the halter off, and I went to say, I can get home with just using my legs, meaning squeeze. Yeah. My horse wasn't trained for that. But the second you take a harness off a horse that's looking at home from a mountain it just ran, and I thought, I'll take it running, but it was getting on city streets. It was crossing streets to get back to because we had crossed streets to get up to that mountain. It was one of the scariest things ever, because horses go faster than they let you know.
Yeah. Well, you guys listening, did you make a regrettable decision in your youth? Riding a train that didn't slow down for hundreds of miles? That was a regrettable decision. Danny trying to show off riding horses without bridles? Regrettable decision.
Just sitting on the horse like it was a chair.
What was it for you? Call now and let us know. 800-252-1025 or text your answer to 90627.
Alrighty, so 2 kids jump on a train. Train goes too fast. They can't jump off. They have to call 911 to be rescued. Both Paul and I jumped on trains. It wouldn't slow down. We had to get off and call our moms or whoever to come get us. When did you make a regrettable decision in your youth? Here's the phone number, 1-800-252-1025, or text 90627.
We'll start this morning with Kozak in Sumner.
What up, Kozak?
Good morning. How's everyone?
We're all good, man. What do you got for us?
All right, so summer of '89, I just turned 9 years old, and my friend decided, hey, let's go skinny dipping in his apartment swimming pool in the middle of the day.
Wow.
There was like 8 or 9 of us, boys and girls. We jump in, the cops show up, we scatter. I ended up running like about a mile home naked, jumping through people's backyards.
Nice, man.
Ridiculous.
How did your parents feel about it when you got home?
My mom wasn't home.
Perfect, you're good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us did that, though? Either skinny dipping or breaking into a pool. Most of the time, it was at night.
Yeah, at night, not at an apartment complex.
Yeah.
In
I
the middle
don't
of the
know
day.
one young man that thinks skinny dipping is a good idea all on his own. Then, when the cute girl says, I'll go, that is the most important decision ever made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I remember clear as day breaking into a public swimming pool super late at night. It's dark out. We all go swimming. Then we see the cops coming. We got to climb over the fence. I have a huge scar on my forearm to this day because it had the unfinished fence at the top with like the prongs.
Oh, yeah.
Poked right in there. Had to tell my parents. That was a regrettable decision.
I'm assuming it was.
Brent in Port Townsend, when did you make a regrettable decision in your youth?
Hey, good morning. What a day. The skirts are out.
Woo!
Woohoo!
So I collected early Marvel comics like Spider-Man, Avengers, all those.
Right?
I sold them all for like nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, and they'd be worth real money today, right?
Like a house.
Oh, like a house of real money. That's a heartbreaker because I had some of those. I had some really important stuff from the 1970s that instead of selling for the thousands they would be worth today, for like $12 worth of marijuana in 1972.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Bill in DuPont.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Danny, how you guys doing?
We're doing well,
Bill,
thanks.
did you move?
No, I've always lived in DuPont,
All right.
but I was always working when I called you before, and I was working in Lakewood, so therefore.
Bill in Lakewood. I didn't
thought
put it together.
yesterday when he called, I thought it was somebody different.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, he wants to talk to Tori, and he's being a little creepy.
I think he's trying to trick us. I'm a whole different
Right.
person now.
Was I creepy yesterday?
You're creepy every day,
Yes,
honey, and I mean that
yesterday.
with love.
And I take it with love.
Yeah,
So,
as long as
before
you
we
take
get run
it.
off the air.
All right, here we go. Bill, what do you got for us?
So back in the day, about 1971, or
Could you be more precise?
Sorry?
I'm joking. Go ahead, Bill.
I didn't even hear you.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
It's getting better, though.
Anyway, me and this guy, we were celebrating graduating from a pretty extensive, intense dog course in the Air Force. Anyway, he sat down with Jack, I think it was, and I had a bottle of Ron Rico 151.
Sure.
And, well, we started mixing them with Coke and toasting each other and telling each other how great we were and, all like that. And then pretty soon we ran out of Coke. But, the party was going on. And so I continued to drink Rodrigo 151 straight.
Ugh.
And people tell me what I did. And
Don't you hate that,
Yeah, right.
man?
Let's hear from Paul and Buckley talking about regrettable decisions you made in your youth.
Hey, Paul.
Good morning, guys. Danny, you know the Chattooga River in right outside of Chattanooga.
I've heard of it, yeah.
We decided to get tubes and go down the Chattooga. Oh man, Class 5 rapids. We looked like we were so bruised and battered and beat up. Oh man.
I will tell you this, Paul. Out of all the crazy stories that I tell, and this happened, and I jumped out of a plane, and I fought Jose Canseco or whatever it is. I've never gone river rafting.
Really?
Never.
Oh, it's so fun.
It seems fun, although it seems wet. I'd like to invent a way to not get wet, but
There's a lot of effort, a lot of work
Yes.
involved. It's not like you just get in the raft
and
and
the
go.
guy yells left.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, come on, nobody can turn this thing left at this point.
That's why that sounds super scary and a regrettable choice, because you're supposed to have oars so that when you get to a scary rapid, the guy yells at you and you paddle.
Right. No, that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's telling me to turn left, because he thinks the
Yeah.
stupid oar is going to make the thing turn left, which it's not. Well,
But no.
I've only seen it on TV.
Bill does it on an inner tube, which not super smart.
Yeah, I mean your butt's hanging out through the inner tube.
Yeah.
You're gonna
I've
hit
done that.
every single rock.
There were no rapids of any kind. There's a thing in Phoenix called, I don't know, it's a river ride you do in a tube, and it takes like 3 hours, but you
Yeah.
never go over 2 miles an hour.
Right.
It's awesome.
A lot of those here, which they not with the rapids, but
Right.
with your butt hanging out.
And that's cold water here.
Oh, yeah.
Do it in Arizona, do it in California. Don't do it here.
Scott on Joint Base Lewis McCord, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
All good, buddy. What do you got?
Oh, I got a good one.
All right.
Well, we wake up one morning in Reno, Nevada, and my best friend says, my girlfriend's up in Elko with her dad visiting. Why don't we just hop up there and see him? Because she was with her girlfriend.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, that's an awesome idea. So we started hitchhiking from Reno, Nevada to walk to Elko, Nevada, which is like all the way across the state of Nevada. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No one picked us up.
No, oh, bummer, dude. But
You
you
just
know
walked the whole
what
way.
is the bad decision, though, that you went hitchhiking? Because then it didn't seem as crazy as it would seem now
Yeah.
to go hitchhiking. I used to hitchhike a lot. And I'll tell you, when you hitchhike a lot, you see a lot of strange hoositzes.
Oh.
Crazy guys driving around looking for hitchhikers just so they can show their hoosits to them.
Rob in Eatonville, did you make a regrettable decision in your youth?
Yeah, back in the early 70s, me and a buddy of mine, we hopped on a train out in Chatsworth Park. It went through the tunnel like really slow.
Yeah.
And by the time we got all the way, I don't even know where it was in L.A. somewhere. We were only like 12 years old, so we didn't really know a whole lot of what's going on. But
By the way,
You can
I
never
know
jump
I know
off the
exactly where it was because that's the train I jumped on.
Oh,
Went to
yeah.
Chatsworth Park through that tunnel. All right, so what happened, man?
well, we got all the way. We finally got to a point where we can get off, and then the next thing I know, we're like, we don't even know how to get home. So we started thumbing and hitchhiking, and I don't know. I got home really late that night and got grounded for being out and skipping school and the whole 9 yards. So
I think we've
it was
established that jumping on trains as a young person, maybe as any age, is really stupid.
How about this? We got a text into 90627. I shot a cop car with a paintball gun, and then I had to wait in the cab of a dump truck for a couple of hours until the cop left. It was negative 20 degrees, and I still have the frostbite scar on my ear for being an idiot.
High end stupid.
Yeah.
High end stupid.
Let's talk with Rob in Louisville.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, when I was 17, still living in Washington State, me and a buddy of mine thought it'd be fun to take a motorcycle from Seattle to California, which was a miserable trip. But on the way home, I was wearing a backpack, and my sleeping bag unraveled, filled up like a parachute around Washougal on I-5, and pulled me off the back of the bike.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what's funny is I can visualize it happening. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to 100% understand it, but if you can visualize it, okay, that's a sleeping bag right there.
Oh, poor Rob.
Derek in Tacoma, did you make a regrettable decision in your youth?
Well, back in the day, some of the Chevys, the old Chevys, this was back in the 60s, had an off switch. And if you leave it off or left it off, you could turn it back on without using a key.
Right.
Well, a couple of my friends and I decided that we're going to take it for a nocturnal drive. And we drove it all around. We even put gas in it. It was right across the street from the B&I. We put gas in it, drove around, and went to school and bragged about it. And they took 3 of us, and then 3 turned into 6, and 6 turned into 9. And
you got caught?
People.
Is that what you're saying?
Everybody started ratting everybody else out.
Oh, yeah, that's the way that goes. No one takes one.
Stealing a car never ends well.
No.
Never ends well. Paul, did you make a regrettable decision in your youth?
Yeah, my dad was a locksmith, and so by the time I was in elementary school, I was convinced that I knew how to pick a lock. I'd seen him do it before, right? So I'm at school, and it's recess, and I decide that I'm going to pick the lock of my classroom door with a plastic fork, which, of course, immediately broke off in the lock and made it so that you couldn't open the door. You couldn't get back in. So they have to call my dad. He has to come and fix the lock, and then of course, everybody's looking at me. Like, the teacher was positive that I did it and told my dad that I did it, although they hadn't seen me. And I denied it, of course.
Good.
And have never told the truth.
Good, don't. It's silly.
Yeah.
Hope your dad's not listening.
Yeah, hi, Dad. Sorry.
Hi, Pop.
But he got like, $45 for the service call or
There
whatever.
you go.
So.
Cool. I did the same thing on the within 5 miles of Chatsworth Park, where that guy, where the caller and I both got on trains, did the same foolish mistake on a truck. We were up on the mountain sleeping in the tree fort.
Yeah.
And they came by to deliver the groceries in this truck in the morning. We climbed on top when they're ha ha ha. And then when it takes off, you go, I did not think this out.
Hey, it's time to play It's a Fine Line.
It's a fine line.
This is your chance to win tickets to see Rob Schneider next Saturday night at the new game, It's a Fine Line. This is your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Rob Schneider perform his stand-up Saturday night, Skagit Valley Casino Resort. Danny will give you some fine lines from classic films.
I will.
To win, you'll need to tell us which line was delivered by a Rob Schneider character.
Oh, man, how could you miss that?
Yeah.
Our contestant is Shelley in Kirkland.
Good morning, Shelley.
Good morning.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Absolutely.
Cool. And do you understand the rules of the game?
Yes.
All right, here we go then. Ready? This is the first line. I'm walking here. I'm walking here. By the way, a fine reenactment.
It was great, yeah.
Line 2. This Columbo, he pretends to be stupid, but he's really smart as a tack. Oh, that was line 2. Also good, I think. And here comes line 3. You're going to need a bigger boat. Boom. Which of these fine lines was delivered by Rob Schneider?
I say it's 2.
It is 2.
Yeah.
He pretends to be stupid, but he's really smart as a tack.
Oh, that sounded exactly like you, Danny.
See, look at me go.
Shelley, you're right. That was the answer. It's from Big Daddy. And now you have won a pair of tickets to see Rob Schneider next Saturday night at the Skagit Valley Casino Resort. She's going to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to get her tickets. You guys can get all the details and tickets online at theskagit.com. Plus, join us again tomorrow, 7:20, for another chance to win. And up next is the big news of the day.
And the big news of the day is brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE or go online to goldbergjones.com.
2 gray wolves forced a U.S. Forest Service employee into a tree, requiring her to be rescued.
Wow.
She was doing a research survey in Washington's Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. The employee was prepared. Before being treed, she attempted to scare the 2 wolves, members of the Loop Loop pack, by yelling, waving, and spraying bear spray in their direction.
Oh, now, being treed, is that universal? That the wolves, she had to climb a tree to get away, and now they stay, right, at the bottom of the tree?
Yep.
Wow.
She was about 3 miles from the Tiffany Spring Campground, and thankfully, she was 30 feet up in the air, and thankfully, she was able to call for help. They had to get a Department of Natural Resources helicopter to respond. Those helicopters based in Omak are normally used for firefighting, but they could not figure out how to do it because wolves are protected, so you can't shoot the wolves to get them away, and they weren't paying attention.
You can't?
I mean, in this situation, I think you could.
What if it was a human being who was armed, keeping me up in a tree? Can we shoot him?
Not if he's federally protected, like American Treasure Kevin Costner.
No, that's a reasonable answer. Once you're in the witness protection program, you've got some extraordinary rights.
Yeah, they're federally protected.
Wow.
So she is okay, thankfully, but what a strange circumstance.
I don't know why I believe this. I've never had any opportunity to believe this, but I've seen wolves in movies, the Bourne Ultimatum or whatever the other one with Renner is, where he's being stalked by wolves and other movies. Like, I've always thought I could beat him. Not fight a gray wolf and win. That you could scare them. No, scare them away. Yeah. They're not. They don't want anything. Pretend I'm 6 feet tall. They don't want anything 6 feet tall. Going. I've just always thought a pack of wolves, you'd scare them away and they'd run away. Now I think they'd eat me.
Yeah, apparently.
Yep. Well, I've got bad news. It's a study being reported in the Journal of Forensic Sciences.
Is this the Christianity one?
Yeah, this is
I'm
bad
on pins
news
and needles
for very religious people. According to a new study done by these forensic scientists, the Shroud of Turin is shenanigans.
1,400 reproduction.
It's not that it's a reproduction.
No, it is. They made it to look like that on purpose. A lot of people think Da Vinci did it.
Well, according to these experts, the blood stains on this burial cloth are not what they should be, that they don't represent the proper shape from somebody who is laying down. So the Shroud of Turin, supposedly the burial cloth wrapped around Jesus after his crucifixion.
Yeah. Right.
It has blood stains that are said to have been transferred during the 3 days that Jesus was in the tomb that form the image of the crucified man.
Right.
But this new study says the bloodstain image was likely faked because it appears to have come from someone standing up rather than someone flat, laying flat with this fabric on top of it.
I wasn't sad when I first started hearing that this might be a fake and stuff like that. But John the Baptist's finger was, because they're really, you say it for me.
Reliquary.
Yeah. They have it at churches. Some of them, by the way, have to be fake. But the John the Baptist finger, it seemed like it was going to bear out time, and it came out around the right area. And then it was fake, and I was so sad.
I mean, it's usually someone's bone.
Right.
Just not who you think.
That's my motto. It's usually someone's bone. What's the motto with you?
And you don't always want to know whose.
No, why bother?
There is a crazy story out of Florida. A wealthy man named Alan Abramson found shot dead. This happened about a year ago. It happened over the winter. Now, 2 things struck police as being odd. One was there is a thin trail of blood on the front of his jacket, as if a bloody string had been dragged across his body.
That's weird.
The other thing they found, which was strange, was that he had searched on how to make a suicide look like murder. He'd also developed a strange interest in helium-filled balloons. One of the people working this crime scene said, "This sounds like a CSI episode." They're like, "Yeah, sure does." He was like, "No, really? I'm pretty sure I saw this on CSI."
Right.
Yeah.
A 2003 episode. A man fakes his own murder so his family can collect his life insurance. He goes outside and shoots himself dead with a gun he had tied to a large helium balloon, leaving behind a corpse and no gun. Because
pretty good.
Yeah.
that way they wouldn't call it suicide and that he would be paid, his family would be paid life insurance.
Right.
Well, they looked at this, they watched the episode, and they said, yep, that was an episode of CSI, and that's what this man did. They were able to track down that he purchased 2 weather balloons, also exchanged some emails with the balloon seller asking how much weight the balloons would carry.
Right.
They just have not found the gun.
Well, and you might not. It could be anywhere. I used to do a bit on the radio in Chicago, and we'd fly these big balloons with messages, and I got a call from Norway once.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he did kill himself and was hoping to do the same thing, let his family collect large life insurance, and this will likely negate that life insurance.
Yeah, no, it will. And the researching how do you kill yourself and stuff like that, that kind of screws them. I was researching, if you will, how to kill my neighbor's tree. It's in my way. It's sickening. They won't. I mean, it's not sickening. It's beautiful, but it's not beautiful as much as downtown Seattle. And I went online and I went, how to kill a tree. And then I went, from a distance. And I went, no, don't research this, man. And by the way, before I turned it off, it gave me some really stupid answers. It's as stupid as I am.
Yeah.
You know what it had me
Google
doing, which I'm capable of doing, by the way? You take the spike, like a copper spike or whatever, attach it to an arrow and shoot the tree from a distance. I mean, you guys are stupid. I like you.
You got to do those type of Google searches at the public library
Right.
somewhere.
Exactly.
No, absolutely.
Forbes' list, its annual list of the richest celebrities is out.
Danny Bonaduce, number 1.
Sure.
They track this every year, and it goes June to June. So it's who earned the most money in that time frame.
Okay.
Would you like to take a gander? No, not a gander. A
No,
guess.
I got you. Okay, I'll go with The Rock.
Oh, that's a
good
great
guess.
guess.
Yeah.
However, it is incorrect.
No, it's not that great of a guess, then.
Paul, would you like to take a guess?
Do musicians count as well?
Yes.
Jay-Z.
Oh, that's
Beyonce.
also very good guests.
What?
Guests. Guesses. What?
Guess. It was a good guess.
Ganders. Goose or gander, either way.
Tori, do you have a guess on what celebrity earned the most money in the year?
William Dafoe.
Yeah, oh, no, I think a fine guess.
That's not a good guess, but it is a good guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Makes perfect
Oh,
sense.
yeah, that's right.
It doesn't make me happy. But as he's an entertainer?
Celebrity, you said?
Celebrity.
Oh, yeah, he's full on
Yeah.
celebrity.
I kind of forgot he existed. But
The richest celebrities. He is at number 1 because in the year he hauled in $285 million.
that's
Wow.
decent. That's a pretty good year.
I'm surprised it's only that much. I had heard way more than that. To be
For
honest with
1
you.
year, not his net
Yeah,
worth.
no, a year.
1
I heard one fight brought him in like $500 million, I thought. But anyway, I'll
But I'm
take
pretty
it.
sure that fight wasn't in this past year. So where's his money coming from?
Manny Pacquiao, he fought him,
Yeah.
beat him.
But was that between June and June? I thought that was
that was
prior
before. Yeah.
Was it? Because that's
This must have
that's
been
a
a
half a
different
billion
fight.
I think that
dollar
was 2
fight.
years ago.
Wow.
I don't know where his money's coming from, but he's loaded, just knocking out George Clooney.
Oh, who got knocked
No
out on a
pun
motorcycle the other day?
It's hard to nail down Mayweather's net worth, but somewhere between $700 million and $1 billion.
That's what
Holy
I thought.
smokes. Well, George Clooney was at number 2. Let's see, he earned $50 million less, and that's mainly from his tequila company and making a handful of movies. At number 3, Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, we talked about her.
$166.5 million that she earned in the past year.
Earned. She earned
From
$1
selling her
billion.
makeup, yeah.
Whatever.
At number 4, Judge Judy from TV,
Yeah.
Judy Scheinlin.
Is that lady still on and still
Yes,
making
and
tons
still
of money?
making
apparently?
$40 million a year, and that's her base salary.
At number 5,
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah, can you smell what he's cooking?
I can.
It's money soup.
Yeah.
He's cooking $120 million.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why does everybody have not just so much money, but let's go with what really matters. So much more money than me.
It's interesting because Sean P. Diddy Combs and Beyonce both topped the celebrity list, are not even in the top 10 for this past year. They got to
They had
start
an
working
off year?
again. Must be. That's the big news of the day, which is brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online, goldbergjones.com.
You asked for it, you got it. Coming right up, Sarah's Filthy Forecast.
It's Sarah with your filthy forecast. Yesterday, my neighbor Vanessa came over and just begged for it. How could I say no? So I said yes.
Yeah.
We filled the kiddie pool, busted out the margaritas. Well, you know the rest. How did you cool off yesterday? You might want to consider rubbing an ice cube up and down on every surface of your glistening skin.
I will consider that.
Yeah, it sounds better than it would actually be, though.
Yeah.
But the heat is on again today. 87 for the high under such thick, penetrating sun rays. Tomorrow it goes down on us.
Of course it does.
Nice.
Balmy 77
Balmy?
degrees. Twice in 1 week. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Another forecast comes at you Thursday. See you then. The best weather front in Seattle.
My goodness gracious.
Perhaps the best one ever.
Yeah, I was thinking that. This is awful good, but who knows what the future may bring. That was, of course, Sarah's Field Legal Forecast. Let me tell you about the iHeartRadio app. It's designed so you can take KZOK, put it in your pocket, and take it anywhere you want to go. And you don't even have to have enormous pants.
Is
You have
that
normal
an app in your pocket?
Or I'm just happy to see you. Exactly. You're right. Put your favorite music on, live stream podcasts of all our shows, all free. Being Radio is a part of your life every single day. Wherever you go, whatever you do, the iHeartRadio app. Damn. Okay, now we've heard Queen before, but why am I so flipped out by it? We just watched the trailer for the new Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Becky, we totally have to go. When's it out? This fall? This fall.
It's out this fall. BohemianRhapsody.com is where you can see the trailer, full trailer out right now. And Freddie Mercury seriously was from another planet.
Because as extraordinary as that voice is, and there's never been one before it or since it in rock and roll, his life is as interesting as that.
Indeed. This trailer really gets you kind of like pumped up for it. I mean, Tori, you're a super fan. You've got a Queen tattoo. Did this make you get in line for the movie?
Oh my gosh. If the movie is as epic as the trailer, then I think we're in for a real treat. Rami Malek talks just like Freddie. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Like with the teeth and everything.
The prosthetic teeth must have been a weird thing to wear all day long.
And you know right then in the trailer that that's Live Aid. They recreated that perfectly.
Yep.
And Brian May, Gwillem Lee is the actor. He looks exactly like him. It's creepy.
We were saying that in here because I thought they were like superimposing him when he was younger into the movie.
Right.
The real
That's
guy.
how good he looks.
That's how good it looks.
This movie's going to be epic.
They're also including Mary Austin, who was Freddie's girlfriend that many people don't know about.
It's going to be such a great movie. Where can they see the trailer?
BohemianRhapsody.com. It looks great, but it sounds so great too. Like the mix of the music is just incredible.
That's definitely a must for KZOK fans for sure. There's a new study out once again about millennials.
Yeah, they're stupid.
I feel like they get picked on an awful lot. They say nowadays millennials, we know, live with their parents in droves. And a lot of that is because they don't have enough money. But we've all, no matter if you're a millennial, a Gen X, a Gen Y, whatever you are, baby boomer, we've all had no money at some point.
I've notoriously had no money at some point.
You know, unless you're a trust fund baby, we have all been at the point where you have no money. And you have to kind of figure out how to do stuff like go on a date.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
You know what you can do with some girls, in my opinion, is you can, I don't know, convince them that broke is really charm. You know what I mean?
As opposed to being cheap.
I made a whole thing, yes. And as opposed to admitting that you're broke. Maybe you don't want to admit you're broke. I took more than one girl, and by the time I did this, these are real people. I took them to a drive-in movie theater with hot dogs that I had cooked.
Oh.
And the whole thing
Did
cost
you put
me
her in the trunk?
$10. No, but I would have, believe me. But
Not on the first date,
20,
like second, third date.
It was the middle of the 80s, and she liked me.
Nice.
So you cooked your own hot dogs and took her to the drive-in.
And then I gave her one.
That's brilliant.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, you guys listening, what are some of the best low-cost dates that you've been on? Love to hear your tip. Call us, 800-252-1025. Yeah, I said just the tip.
You know, we all know that millennials are nothing but trouble, and they also have no money. They're a big hassle, but they have to date too. I'm asking you, what are some of the best low-cost dates that you've ever been on? 1-800-252-1025. You can text 90627.
We'll talk with Dan in Snohomish first.
Dan, what's up?
Hey, how are you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Hey, I took my wife to Flower World out in Snohomish with a half a loaf of bread and fed the coolest ducks and chickens and geese, and that was a cheap date, and I think she had more fun on that than any other date we've been on.
You know, and that can be the time. Like I said, you can confuse charm for being broke. Like that homemade hot dogs wrapped up in tinfoil to the movie we were going to see. She was literally charmed her pants off, if I remember correctly.
Dan's story is so sweet that I won't tell him that you're not supposed to feed white bread to ducks, but that's okay.
Whatever.
You know, that's a made-up rule anyway.
Yeah.
You want to kill them, take the foie gras anyway.
It's like the one where you throw them rice and their hearts explode or some such thing.
Yeah.
Is that one true?
Probably.
I'm not stopping.
Valerie and Burien, what are some of the best low-cost dates you've been on?
My husband invited me for his first date. He said he wanted to cook a meal for me. I thought, great. In his new apartment. So we get in there, and I said, well, I'm kind of hungry. Do you need help cooking? He said, oh, no, I got it handled. I said, okay, what are we having? He said, salad. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. So we go to the sink, and I see a head of lettuce, and he wrenches it off. He rips a piece off, hands it to me, and I'm looking at it going, what am I supposed to do with this? He says, here's the dressing. We stand over the sink and we eat it because I don't have dishes.
See, again, there's a charm to that. Well, they ended up together.
Yeah.
800-252-1025, talking about some of the best low-cost dates you've been on. You can also text your answer to 90627. It's our friend Brent in Port Townsend.
Hey, Brent.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up?
So you ask the girl out to the races. You take her, you park on the cliff lookout, wait for the subs, and make your move. It's a submarine race.
Now, wait a second. I've been around a long time. Aren't submarine races something else?
Something dirty, you mean?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it, but that
Brent,
doesn't mean it's not.
Are there actual submarine races, Brent? Are you actually looking for submarines?
They never show up. You just keep waiting and make your move.
You can't see them because they're underwater.
Right, but they do, interesting enough, get larger, which I think is kind of
A text into 90627 from Cammie on Joint Base Lewis McCord. She says, best cheap date ever was a bonfire on the beach in California. He brought his guitar, we sang, drank beer, and roasted marshmallows. 2 years later, we got married.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
No.
That's awesome.
You can't actually sleep with the guy that brings a guitar to the campfire. There's rules against that.
Oh, I love it.
I think they can, and I think they do on
All
a
the time.
fairly regular basis.
Bastards.
Isn't that why you want to play guitar? To be the guy at the bonfire that gets the girl? I mean, don't tell Amy. I won't tell Amy.
I have the girl.
I would say one that's pretty fun is watching the Blue Angels.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it's
sure.
totally free. And all you need is a couple of beers and you find a good place to sit outside.
Yeah.
Which is anywhere.
You know, this is a lot like the sex I used to have when I was single. Isn't it long durations in between, and also it goes by so fast?
Yeah, but you can go out there, you get set up.
Yeah.
You have a little picnic, you have your bottle of wine or your booze.
Yeah.
And you lay on the grass, you go for a swim in Lake Washington, you watch them.
The long durations in between gives you time to get to know
Look
each other.
for the submarines.
Look for the
Right.
submarines.
Sure.
Oh my goodness, we have a call from Mrs. Farmer Ted.
Oh, wow.
Wow, Mrs. Farmer Ted, how the hell are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're really very well. So you're married to Farmer Ted.
Yes, I am.
All right, cool. We like him. What do you got for us?
Well, back in the 80s when we were dating, there was a theater that had 99-cent double features.
Holy
So
smokes.
we used to go to the movie theater, see 99-cent double features, and then go grab some McDonald's or Burger King afterwards.
There's a level.
Maybe cost him $5.
There's a level of innocence when it ends up in burgers.
Yeah.
You know, and you can just see them. They're sitting down. They're having a good time that you wouldn't believe they would have today.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I tried to take a grown-up woman and say, come on, we're get in the back of my car, we'll go to the drive-ins, then we'll go to Mickey D's, I would think she's going to think I'm a loser.
Yeah.
Good morning to Rob in Louisville.
Good morning again. Well, I met my wife on a blind date. She came over to my house that night. It didn't cost us a dime. 17 hours later, we were married. After we got married, we went out to McDonald's.
Good. You know what? Good. Now, I've always said that. I was just talking about that the other day. So it was your first date with her?
Yeah, it was a blind date.
And then 17 hours later, you married her? That's almost my exact thing. And everybody said I was crazy. Worked out I was married 17 years and have 2 good kids. It can work.
Rob, how long have you been married?
The 21st of this month will be 10 years.
Wow.
Good for you,
Congratulations,
buddy.
man.
That's pretty great.
Yo and Olympia texted in to 90627. She says, my first cheap date with my husband was a bottle of champagne and a telescope on my front lawn. Stars and kisses.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's romantic.
Stargaze. Holiday and I like to stargaze too. And when we lived in the city,
You just look at Danny all day.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
you do. You'll be fine.
When we lived in the city, we would, drive out and just find like a park or a field to lay in and just put down a blanket and look up at the stars. And now we live out where you can see the stars all the time, and we pretty much never do it.
We used to do it in Los Angeles, where I was raised, and you'd go, me and Dave would go to the corner of Sunset and Sweets or whatever, and we're drinking out of a paper bag. We're too young to drink, but we're going stargazing. And we're gonna, when a celebrity goes by, we'll say, oh, that's that guy, and oh, that's that guy. And after like 3 beers and you're only 17 years old, if they're even in the ballpark, I swear that's Sylvester Stallone.
That was a nice date that you and Dave went on.
Yeah, Dave and I went on a lot of dates.
Tori, what's the best low-cost date you've been on?
I've been on a couple dates to see Shakespeare in the Park for free, which is pretty awesome. I saw Macbeth and Hamlet and A Midsummer Night's Dream.
What
Why
park?
free?
I want to say Lincoln Park. Why free? I'm not sure. Just theater groups will put them on, and you can I think you can tip, but
that's super neat.
I think even the big one in Central Park in New York City is
free.
free.
Yeah.
it's all over the place. Yeah, it's pretty
A
fun.
lot of the big concerts are free, too. People put on concerts in
right.
Central Park. Simon and Garfunkel.
Derek, the best low-cost date you've been on?
It pays to have friends, so I would take girls out to dinner at a restaurant where my friend was the waiter, so I would toss him my credit card at the end of the meal. He'd go back, pretend to run it, and just bring it back to me. I wouldn't pay anything.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I knew someone else who was the manager of a movie theater, so we'd go to the theaters, and again, I would pretend to pay for things that I would just get free tickets. Like, it was awesome.
It does pay to know people in low places.
It really does.
With like no conscience whatsoever.
Yep.
Like just people who are willing to just steal from their companies.
He's not committing murder. He's getting a ticket to the movies.
Well, thanks for your calls, all your texts. All of the big news is next. News is brought to you by Johnson RV. State Route 529 has reopened in Everett after a deadly crash in the northbound lanes early this morning. According to Everett police, the driver hit and killed a pedestrian just north of the Snohomish River about 4 a.m. Officers arrested the male driver on suspicion of DUI. So far, no names have been released, but police are also reminding the public that it is very dangerous to walk along this stretch of 529 between Everett and Marysville.
Yeah, you know how I used to walk to work before? Mm-hmm. Here, there's like 2 different streets that don't have sidewalks. What is that? Right there out by that park? That thing doesn't have a sidewalk. So
You shouldn't be walking through a park at night anyway.
No, it's against the street where we work.
Yeah. Right, that's
right outside the window.
The window you're looking outside right now.
That one.
At the park you're looking at.
You shouldn't be in a park at night.
All right.
You shouldn't be walking the streets at night, Danny.
Exactly. Couldn't be more true.
Don't be walking on the railroad tracks after the show.
My streetwalker days are behind me.
A 29-year-old woman suspected in the hit-and-run death of a Port Orchard grandfather has been arrested and booked into Kitsap County Jail. Allie Rochelle Giannini, age 29, is going to be in court later this morning. She is alleged to have struck and killed 61-year-old Michael Keaton of Port Orchard and then fled the scene without reporting the crash.
Jeez.
Flames were bursting from all sides of a house in West Seattle early this morning. Fire crews were called into this 2-alarm fire to try to save the home, its occupants, and nearby buildings. 2 people and 2 cats escaped the fire as crews battled the flames. Took them about 40 minutes to put out. Most of the damage does appear to be on the 2nd floor, but it did not spread, which is the good news.
Did the cats escape because people were carrying them, or did they just actually escape? Did they look around and go, this is no good, I'm leaving?
Yeah, you do wonder, when you hear a fire alarm, you're supposed to grab your cats and put them in a carrier. Good luck when that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some cats are pretty chill, and you could put them in a blanket and carry them outside.
Nope.
No.
At least your cat doesn't have claws to scratch you with.
That's true.
That's why sometimes you wind up dropping the cat because it scratches the holy heck out of you.
Danny, is that close enough for your fantasy? I know you want to save a person from a burning building. How about saving an animal?
Better.
Better?
Better.
All right.
All right, so here's a guy.
Yeah.
He runs in and saves his grandma.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. But he runs in and saves grandma's puppy. Oh, it's a hero forever.
I mean, it sucks for Grandma because she was still inside.
I don't even know what's happening to her. I got the cat, though.
Yesterday was a very happy Prime Day for Jeff Bezos. Yesterday, the Amazon founder became the richest person in modern history.
Wow.
54 years old, net worth $150 billion.
God, I remember yesterday it was only 80 billion.
It's 55 billion more than the second richest person in the world, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's unbelievable. And that modern history thing is because back in the old days, you know, the stories of people being weighed and they're matching weight and gold and stuff, that really used to happen. Those guys were kind of wigged out.
Plus that Monopoly man, Uncle Pennybags or whatever his name is.
I'm going to go Moneybags. Yeah.
Well, back in the day, 1999, Bill Gates was worth $100 billion for a little while. But if you adjust for inflation, that would still only be 149, meaning Jeff Bezos' $150 billion is the biggest fortune anyone has had since 1982 when Forbes started publishing the annual wealth rankings.
But what's $1 billion amongst friends, though?
Right.
Really?
But
give or take $1 billion.
He's maybe the richest guy in the last 5,000 years, really, if you don't adjust. There's people that, you know, pharaohs and stuff like that, and I forget what the other guys are called, but, you know, they had the weight in gold and jewels, everything, but I still think Bezos might be the richest ever.
It's crazy. Bounce houses have been quite the phenomena for the past few years, and now the world's largest bounce house is headed to Post Falls, Idaho. The Guinness World Record title holder for the largest bounce house in the world is on the move. It's an inflatable structure, 10,000 square feet and 32 feet tall. There are obstacle courses, basketball courts, and giant slides. There's even a DJ booth with nightclub quality sound and lights.
Wow.
That's where they lost. It's no longer a bounce house.
Right.
Well, now that's a house.
But you can bounce
that
anywhere.
You can bounce in.
It's got to be hard to play records if it's bouncing all around, right?
It's all computerized now.
Wow.
Yeah, Paul.
Well, I would think that I want my DJ to have 2 turntables and a microphone.
I do too, and they don't, and I don't think they're DJs. And that thing that kind of looks like a turntable isn't.
Well, that's I don't
fakery.
want it. Yeah, I don't want it anymore. Get your DJ booth out of my bounce house, then.
Well, I mean, don't you want to find it and go take Jelly Bean there?
Yeah, it does seem actually kind of fun.
Yeah, no, I don't care.
And this one's not going to float away.
You don't know.
It's so huge.
Tell that to a 747.
Haven't we all been, even as adults, at a bounce house?
Yeah, I've only been in a bounce house as an adult.
Within the last few weeks. They're much more fun when you're not sober.
Yeah.
The Aloha State is getting its very own Chick-fil-A. America's favorite fast food chain made the announcement it is opening a location on Oahu. They said, like all Chick-fil-A restaurants, the location will be owned and operated by a local resident and employ 80 team members. Now, they've got 2,200 Chick-fil-A's in 47 states.
That's not bad.
No. I don't know where they're missing. I'm willing to bet there's not one in Alaska.
That's what I would have thought.
But where else, I wonder, does not have a Chick-fil-A?
Do they have chickens in Alaska?
Yeah, they have chickens in Alaska, yeah.
Why was there a big pause?
I don't know, because we thought, do they? But yeah, of course
they do. All right. I don't know. See, maybe too cold.
No.
Although they're all wearing,
I
believe that they are all wearing down jackets.
The chickens, yeah. They
Or
all have
geese.
feather coats.
Yeah, probably Montana, Wyoming, and Alaska. That's going to be my guess on places that don't have Chick-fil-A. In national and international news, 2 Hungarians have been convicted of trying to steal bricks during a tour of Auschwitz.
Jeez.
The tourists told authorities they wanted to take the bricks home as souvenirs. They wanted souvenirs of the death camp in Poland.
Do some people are they just the stupidest people ever?
I'm assuming that's a rhetorical question.
No, and they don't know what they've done. They don't know what they've defiled.
They knew what it was. They were charged with theft, were given suspended sentences and fines, and no word on motive other than wanting to take home a souvenir. You go to the beach, you take a couple of rocks and shells home.
Yeah, that's a little different, though.
Lack of respect. You know, they were well aware of what they were doing.
Well, then put them in jail. Matter of fact, just let them stay at Auschwitz. until they die out. No, don't feed them. Am I overly harsh?
Maybe a little bit, but I understand the sentiment for sure.
You can't do that.
Right.
All right, I say shoot him.
A 28-year-old man has died after walking down the stairs of his home carrying a sword when he tripped, impaled himself in the groin, did not survive.
Oh, man, what a way to die.
Right.
With a sword sticking out of your hoosits, man. Yikes.
Why are you walking down the stairs with a sword?
I don't know why people are running with scissors. I don't know. There's I think it's a Domino's pizza commercial. And the whole commercial is this guy running from one red ribbon that he slices with these giant scissors to another. He runs the whole team. I'm thinking, well, the joke, somebody's going to tell him not to run with scissors. Nope, whole commercial of a grown man running with scissors.
There's a crazy bee story out of California.
All right.
According to the fire authorities, a woman had her face completely covered with bees. She had been stung more than 200 times yesterday. She was covered head to toe. They said that the scene was so bad that responders opted against protocol, did not suit up in protective gear, just rushed to the aid of this 48-year-old woman who was covered. They said they used carbon dioxide spray in an attempt to get the bees to release. They then carried her, barely conscious, from the scene.
Wow. The high point is, though, she has really nice lips now. That's a thing that they sell, bee sting stuff, and it's got real bee stingers in it.
A paramedic and 3 firefighters suffered stings themselves, bad enough to be briefly hospitalized. She said, they said she was a cleaning woman who had gone over to her car that had inadvertently been parked right near a hive. They saw her and went crazy. They said that the hive held about 80,000 bees. She's in the hospital.
But she'll be all right?
They said she's expected to survive. Will she be all right? I don't know.
Because that's how Macaulay Culkin dies.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Spoiler alert.
Oh, spoiler alert. Sorry, never mind.
What? Home Alone 5?
My Girl 2?
My Girl 2.
Oh.
Well, who do you know that's in that?
Danny Bonaduce.
That's damn right. So, yeah, he dies. He gets stung by 12,000 bees or whatever and dies. And she
Spoiler alert.
looks at him and says, bummer.
Which movie is this?
You were just going to watch that, right?
Yeah.
It's My Girl 2.
My Girl 2. Okay, I saw the first one. She was cute.
Did she go on to do anything? She was on fire for a little while.
I don't know if she went on.
Lastly on CSI, Criminal Minds, one of those.
Like as a regular character?
Yeah, she did take a break for a while and had kids and stuff.
Really?
She's like in her 30s now. But she's done a couple things, couple of decent sized movies. I forget her name. Something weird.
It's Anna Klumsky.
Yeah, like I said,
Klumsky.
I know.
What a name.
She became a movie star with it.
I'm not really seeing a lot of big things that stand out that she's done.
Hey, I hear she was in My Girl with Macaulay Culkin.
Besides
and
that.
Macaulay Culkin 2 or whatever it was.
Most recently, she had a small part on Veep on HBO, so that's cool.
Oh, yeah. There you go. A man had hired a contractor to do some work on his house. And typically when you've got somebody working on your house for an extended period of time, you set up a porta-potty. Well, this guy set up the porta-potty, but then didn't pick it up. The guy said, "You're done working on my house. Come get the porta-potty." He did not go get it fast enough, so he decided to pick it up himself, take it over to the contractor's house, and tip it over in his driveway.
I'm not sure you can do that.
You are correct. You cannot do that. And guess how he got caught?
I don't know. How?
Doorbell cam.
Yeah.
Did you catch your car prowler yet?
You know what? I still have not asked now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because I have those cameras. That should do it. Not the Ring camera. There's a different camera right above the car. So I'm assuming, I don't know why she hasn't looked because I don't know how to look.
You got to catch him and put a porta potty in his house.
That's exactly what I'm going to do, man.
Animal rescuers in England are warning about an animal on the loose. Bird-eating tarantulas.
Really?
Yep. There were these baby Brazilian bird-eating tarantulas that were in pots, and apparently...
How scary are these things going to be when they grow up?
Very. They are
And is this
huge.
rare, these things eating birds?
It's a specific type of spider, of tarantula.
Tarantula?
The bird-eating ones. They said that these can grow with a leg span of 10 inches. That's a big tarantula. Tarantulas are all
10 inches.
I went the other way.
I saw.
I don't really know which one is the correct joke, but nobody can see any of it, by the way.
Yeah, it's the radio, dude. We made hand gestures.
Well, some people are watching on Danny TV. We're up live on Facebook.com. You can watch it later on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can see Danny and I both do visual jokes. It's
Coming up
fantastic.
next, after 9, card tricks.
Yes.
Stay with us.
A Texas woman has been arrested and accused of stooping to low levels during a fight with her, with one of her now former friends.
More horrible than the poop attack from the contractor?
I would definitely say so.
All right, I can't wait.
Putting a porta-potty in somebody's yard and tipping it over is egregious. However, Jessica is the bad person. Tatiana is the good person.
All right. Tatiana sounds like the bad person.
Yeah.
Okay,
But like
we
in
can
a
change
good
it.
way.
Yeah.
These two women got into an argument in a bar. They leave the bar and get into a fist fight. Jessica initiates the fist fight, starts beating up Tatiana. That's when Jessica bit off Tatiana's nose and swallowed it.
Oh, wow.
Worse than the porta potty, right?
Yeah, by leaps and bounds. Nobody bit anything in there as far as I know.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Her nose is gone.
And you can't really do plastic surgery on that, I don't think. Maybe you could attach something like a whole fake nose.
She swallowed the nose.
Yeah.
That's
hardcore.
crazy.
That takes it to just a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Although, it would kind of make me love her, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, the story was totally hot up until the very last
See,
part.
no, I'm down with the swallowing her nose. You got in a
really?
fight. Yeah. You don't know how bad that fight was. Somebody's never going to be the same.
How about some good news in the news?
I would love good news.
All of you, as soon as you are no longer driving or working, Paul and Danny,
Right.
you need to download the McDonald's app onto your phone ASAP. Because once you do, you are going to get a coupon for a free medium fry every Friday.
What?
So free French fries every Friday.
I wasn't going to say free fries. They're McDonald's fries. They're good and everything. But it doesn't seem like a worthy we're talking about this on the radio moment. And then you hear every Friday. That's a thing.
Free Fry Friday.
Free Fry Friday.
Free Fry Friday.
This past Friday was National French Fry Day.
National French Friday.
I
And
know
that's
what that
what
means.
they did. They gave away free French fries. They said, you know what? We're feeling like we're in the giving spirit. Let's do this every Friday. So
All
they
right.
will. Every Friday this for the entire year.
Wow.
What app do I have to get me a McRib?
Seriously.
Come
They
on.
have one. It's the McRib Finder app.
There's a McDonald's across the street from my house.
They don't
By
have
across
it
the
there.
street, I mean about a mile.
Well, you download the app, you can find McRib, and you can also get all sorts of great deals, including free French fries on Fridays.
The most recent sighting of a McRib was in Australia.
They're down under.
2 days ago in Australia.
We can have someone send you one from there.
That's cuckoo.
It is cuckoo.
It is cuckoo.
Oh. I want a McRib so bad
Yeah,
now.
that's craziness.
I had one yesterday, you know.
No, you didn't.
See, the vegetarian thing is just going to ruin everything for you.
Morningstar Farms, they have a McRib.
The McFib.
The McFib, yeah.
Fake rib meat rib.
It was a McFib.
Although the McRib is already the McFib.
It's close to a fib.
A Florida sheriff's deputy shared some video when he got stuck behind somebody going really slow on the roadway. We've all gotten onto I-5 and somebody's going way too slow in the left lane.
Yes, and some people have short tempers on the road.
I could not imagine who that would be.
Me and my friend Joe.
Well, in this case, a sheriff's deputy got caught 20 minutes driving behind a very rude road pedestrian, a tortoise. He took video of the slow speed. The tortoise is just walking down the road just as fast as you would expect a tortoise to walk down a road.
Which would be slow, right?
And so the video is really cute. He's like, the nerve of this guy. He's literally going 1 mile per hour in a 30.
If he's going 1 mile an hour, I'm fairly sure he's running top speed, too. A whole mile an hour.
It's super cute. Oh, Florida.
Didn't the last turtle or tortoise I ever saw had Danny Trejo's head on it, right?
No, I don't think it was Danny Trejo. I don't think Danny Trejo is dead in
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. I was thinking in the Mayans. Sons of Anarchy.
Mayans?
Sons of Anarchy.
No, you're right. It was a dead head on, not the Grateful Dead.
I was thinking that, man. Why do that?
A decapitated head person on a tortoise. Anyway, police were trying to make an arrest.
Yeah.
A guy had stolen a motorcycle, and the cops arrive. They find the guy on the motorcycle, right? So they're like, oh, he's going down Main Street. So they get to Main Street, and they're like, there he is. They start chasing him. The man flees. He then gets rid of the stolen bike and hoofs it. They lose track of him. The cops look at each other, and they said, that looks a lot like Jim. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's Jim. So what did the cops do?
What?
They went to Jim's house and waited for him to come home and arrested him.
And did they arrest him?
They did. They went home and waited for him where he went.
Why do they know who Jim is?
Because this is Utah and it was a pretty small town.
Oh, yeah, you could arrest one of the Osmonds.
I would imagine, Danny, if you stole a motorcycle and then the cops see you flying by in the motorcycle, they go, huh, that's the douche man. Let's just go up to his house in Queen Anne and wait for him.
I think that's exactly what happened, yeah.
Except it wasn't you. A man was taken into custody at a Tennessee campground after complaints from other campers that he wouldn't stop yelling about a bear attack. Cops arrived at the scene and said, what's the problem here? This poor man's been attacked by a bear. Why are you calling the cops on him? And they said, well, we're not entirely sure we believe him. Well, he told the cops.
When you say yelling, he's screaming, help me, oh my God, I've been bit by a bear.
No, that's not so much what he said.
Oh.
He said, I killed 2 bears with my sword. I'm the bear guy, a bear attack, and I attacked him with my sword.
I'm the bear guy.
He wasn't walking down the stairs with those swords, was he?
By the way, I've also been doing copious amounts of methamphetamine.
Yeah, that will seem to do it.
He's no longer camping.
Well, I don't know that you call it camping, although he gets to sleep and eat free, so maybe it's camping.
I always forget there's one bear that you make yourself big, one bear you play dead, and which bear is it that you take a bunch of meth and pull a sword on?
Chicago bear.
Okay.
Yeah, Chicago bear, you immediately do that.
News brought to you by Johnson RV, but wait, there's more.
There's more.
Yes, music news, entertainment, and sports, lots going on, so stay right here. In music news, looks like there is a new documentary movie being made about David Bowie. Now, what's kind of cool about this one is it's going to explore his early career. Its title is The First 5 Years. So, super fans might know this, aka Tori might know this, but when he first started, he said things weren't actually going very well. And he decided to quit music and become a mime.
Nope, I didn't know that. And I'm a pretty big fan.
I had no idea.
There's a documentary of some kind called David Bowie, The Something 5 Years.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused, but maybe this is a new one.
It's not just you, Tori. I am confused too.
Okay.
It's a companion film.
So did that
one.
first documentary cover his mimeness?
The first documentary was called 5 Years. This one is called The First 5 Years.
All right.
When were those other 5 years?
They were later 5 years.
Yeah.
Tori, were you aware that he was going to be a mime?
I did. His teacher was named Lindsay Kemp, and he's like a iconic mimer, I guess.
How does she know?
Not to be outdone, I knew David Bowie was going to be a mime and asked him about it. They didn't say anything.
Now, these documentaries are being made by somebody who had a long connection with David Bowie, but kind of looking at the man we didn't know super early on when he was still Davy Jones.
Right.
So is it a silent movie?
He didn't actually become a mime.
Oh, he never made it.
Well,
he failed as a mime.
Maybe he was just not good at it. For example, ask me where I am.
Where are you?
I'm in a box. See, that's not how that goes.
No.
You have to pretend you're in a box.
All right, so this looks like 62 to 67. Davy Jones, he leaves high school, tells his parents, I'm going to be a pop star. Started working as an electrician.
Wow.
Then he was in the Conrads.
Can you imagine David Bowie coming to your house to fix your shorts, whoever the hell it is? I'm serious, man. Wearing a tool belt and stuff? That's crazy to think of.
His first solo single was called The Laughing Gnome. It failed to chart, so he said, I'm going to quit music and become a mime. At that point, he enrolled in a dance class, which then fueled his interest in image and how that can help a career and make you something super fascinating, which it did, so he never had to fall back on being a mime. The end.
All right, thank you for that.
Now I don't have to watch it.
We were talking earlier in the show about Forbes' annual list of the world's best paid celebrities.
Yeah.
This is something that is tracked from June to June, and we know the highest paid celebrity for the year, Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Crazy numbers with this guy's money.
However, we are also finding out who the world's highest earning solo artist is when it comes to music. Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
For the year, that little ginger made $110 million.
Hey, some little gingers are awesome.
The best paid band.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but didn't they have to redo something about how they calculate the top 10 records in England because of Sheeran? He was all of them or something like that?
They did have to retabulate something. I know that was a year or two. I don't recall what it was. But this is about earnings and earnings only. And he, no matter how you tabulate his charts, is the top paid solo artist. U2, the top paid band on the year.
Is this in the UK or worldwide?
Worldwide. In the world. So George Clooney did come in at number 2 overall.
That's wild. What's he done?
Tequila.
Oh, right.
Largely responsible, the tequila.
He's also done a few movies.
Yeah. I would think tequila is largely responsible for so much stuff. They say, why'd you choose to do this? And you go, the tequila did it.
Fresh off his Emmy nomination for the TV hit The Americans, Matthew Rhys is moving on to the big screen. He is going to be joining Tom Hanks in the Mr. Rogers movie, You Are My Friend. This is inspired by the real-life friendship between Fred Rogers and the journalist Tom Junod, who will be played by Matthew Rhys.
Is it going to be good?
Everyone says already it's supposed to be phenomenal.
Because it seems like you're going to watch it and go, wow, it's amazing. And then you're going to say, that's 10 minutes in. That's my theory.
And then you got that song stuck in your head.
Right. It's Mr. Rogers and Tom Hanks. How could it not be fantastic?
I don't know. I think, plus, remember I made fun of, what's her name that was in Black Sparrow or Red Sparrow? Jennifer Lawrence, because she's going to do this crazy accent all the way through. He's going to do a crazy impersonation all the way through. Goes wrong by even a little. It's going to drive me crazy.
Harrison Ford is in talks to star in Call of the Wild, which will be an update of the classic Jack London tale. And this is something that they have coming out on December 25th of next year, which means they anticipate it being massive.
Because a Christmas release does that?
Yes. So Christmas...
Wasn't Call of the Wild, wasn't it a movie already?
They've made it several times throughout the years. It was written 100 years ago. But Harrison Ford, Christmas movie, they're anticipating this being gigantic. Let's see. Looks like Clark Gable and Charlton Heston did both were in separate adaptations of Call of the Wild.
So it's been a little while.
It's been a little while. Plus, it came out in 1903.
Yeah.
And aren't they spending a lot of time running around naked?
Naked? No, it's in Canada.
Isn't he?
Yukon.
He climbs inside a dog to keep warm.
They're all freezing.
Yeah.
They're in the gold rush. It's a novella. It's very good if you haven't read it.
I love that stuff. Novella.
Yeah.
It's it seems like it should be called chocolate, but it's not. It's novella.
I like telenovelas.
My favorite.
I mean, I don't speak a
Delicious in
lick of Spanish, but
we'll just be over here doing this stuff.
I don't know why.
No, this is fun. That's why. I'm in a box.
Officials in western Arkansas say residents can finally kick off their Sunday shoes.
All right.
1953, there was an ordinance that outlawed public dancing. It's known as the Footloose Ordinance.
Well, it wasn't, right? Until they made Footloose.
Well, yeah, it started in 53 and Footloose was 1984. But they had not done anything about this law in the books and have decided, finally, let's get rid of it. So the Footloose ordinance now going away. You'll be able. You guys stop dancing.
What is over
here? Not like we're totally not participating in the conversation. We're just dancing. Come on, it's Footloose.
Where can
Go ahead,
people
Sarah.
watch you guys acting like fools?
Kick off your Sunday shoes. Right now, we're up on Facebook, on the KZOK Facebook page. We're live there. The whole show, and then the entire show with all the commercials edited out will be on the YouTube page later.
Fantastic. Guys listening, make sure to log in to see Danny and Paul.
I don't know if it's worth the effort on that.
Footloose. Everybody cut Footloose. China has been trying to get in on the film industry by putting out a genuine Hollywood-style blockbuster.
Yeah.
Movies do huge in China.
I've seen a couple of the crazy blockbuster giant. There's this Jackie Chan film where he took on John Cusack, who was a Roman leader, and they brought whole armies to this giant movie, and it made nothing here, but it made $1 billion in China.
Wow.
Well, they have decided to try to come out with their own movies as opposed to have Hollywood make them. They spent $110 million on a movie called Asura, and it did so poorly they have already pulled it out of movie theaters and have hung their head in shame.
Ha ha! That's an American thing.
$7 million is all it earned.
That's that. When you spend 130,
110.
Somebody's going to fire you.
They got to be like us Americans and film all of our films in Toronto.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we do?
Yeah, it is.
Toronto, Vancouver. It was supposed to be their own version of Lord of the Rings, and it was a flop. And they said, well, maybe we'll just go back to the drawing board and try it again.
Yeah, because the stuff I've seen, I don't know how it went in China, the big blockbusters. Because, I was shocked by, and then I just thought about it a little bit, that Jackie Chan was like the third richest entertainer from last year or something that when you ever told us. Because you forget he's got 1 billion people watching his movies.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Earl Thomas jumped on social media yesterday, pushing the Seahawks to give him a new contract or trade him to someone who will. He's a holdout. Now, minicamp started in June, and he said, I'm not going. So yesterday, social media, he wrote, extend. If you don't want me, let's make a trade happen. I understand it's biz. Now, no word from the Seahawks yet on what they plan to do, but he would like to go to Dallas. He's made that very clear. But
Can you keep a guy who's made it clear he doesn't want to be here? Well, the fans, including me and myself, love him like they should? Or is the answer, once they start winning games, everything's going to be forgiven?
Yeah, if Earl Thomas plays the way that Earl Thomas has played in the past, then yeah, we still love him no matter what. But right now, he's being kind of a butt, and we don't like that.
Stop being a butt.
Yeah.
The Home Run Derby happened last night. Derek, tell us what happened.
It was a pretty exciting finish. The final round came down to Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. Schwarber went first, hit 18 home runs. Harper got off to a slow start, but then went deep 9 times in the span of 10 swings, and in bonus time drove one over the center field fence to win the whole thing, finishing out Harper 19, Schwarber 18. Harper got the win.
Wow. He looked so excited, and I think part of it was because it was a hometown crowd that he was really getting encouraged. And his dad was there, Paul, as you pointed out. Really
his dad was there looking all jacked. Everybody was like, who is this guy?
The steroid guy?
Right, yeah.
By the way,
why do you call him steroid guy? At least say allegedly.
Okay, allegedly.
That proved me wrong, Mr. Matt. How is he? He's 50 years old?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
He's the father of a professional athlete?
Yeah.
And he's jacked like a professional bodybuilder?
Yeah.
I'm saying he's on roids.
You might be right.
But I could be wrong, too.
Let's just say it's a good thing that the team doesn't test your dad when he pitches, when he's pitching in the All-Star game or the Home Run Derby.
The All-Star game is tonight. We've got Max Scherzer and Chris Sale, who will open up. Scherzer, of course, playing for the National League, the American League, being fronted by Chris Sale. And we've got not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 Mariners.
You're welcome.
At the All-Star game.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Go Tips.
Now, you might wonder, what benefit is there to a player for playing in the All-Star game other than being surrounded by the best people in the sport? It turns out the 64 players that are named to the All-Star Showcase are competing for the bonus pool worth $640,000.
Oh, that's not nothing.
If you are on the winning team and the winning team only, you get a check for $20,000 just for showing up.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But if you are on the losing team, you get nothing. I'm sorry.
The NFL pays both sides. That's kind of, I mean, you showed up and played. You're a professional athlete. You showed up and played.
I have things to
you should
do.
get some money.
Well, you do get 6 tickets to the game to give to friends and family. First class airfare for yourself and 2 guests.
Okay, that's a thing. That's not free.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Hotel accommodations.
$15,000 or something crazy.
Meal allowances, and then $1,000 to spend on
chicks.
Yeah.
Well, I forget what that term is when they give you
Incidentals?
Yes, incidentals. Thank
chicks.
Chicks, man.
Tomorrow, the storm faced the Chicago sky at 9 a.m. Tip-off.
Go Tips.
And
tip-off.
Same thing.
Soccer news.
Go tip-off. Nope.
World Cup. One of the superstars for France is a guy whose name I'll probably mispronounce. Kylian Mbappe.
Oh, that was pretty close.
Yeah.
And you say a guy. He's a kid.
He's a kid.
I mean, he just turned 19.
And how bad could he be when his name's Mbop? Come on.
No, this guy is going to be, he's already one of the best players in the world, but when he matures some and gets a little more experience in the game, he's going to be the best player in the world.
Right on.
So much
that
so.
Ronaldo guy seemed to have taken a dive.
Yeah. I mean, both Ronaldo and Messi.
They're old.
What's that? Yeah, they're getting older. They've both struggled in international play. Like, their teams don't necessarily live up to their hype.
Right.
Well, this kid is a kid, and even Pele said, "Oh my gosh, Becky, you are the real deal." Now, he is 19. He's the only person other than Pele to have scored 2 goals in a World Cup as a teenager.
Yeah.
So he got a bonus earnings for winning the World Cup, $350,000.
No, it's not bad, but those European soccer players, okay. And they end up with $25 million a year.
Yeah.
Right, that's not his salary. That's his bonus.
Right. No, I was just saying that he's used to a lot of money.
19 years old. He's not used to a lot of money. He is a kid who comes from a very poor background and has donated every single cent to charity. He said he is not taking it. He knows he can do more.
Oh, every single cent of that.
Yep.
Of the
I
bonus.
thought you just said every single cent. I went, that is not a way to save up to get married, mister.
No, he's doing all right, though. He did not come from money, but this year he's going to make $20 million.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah,
So.
He grew up in a very deprived part of Paris, has donated all of his earnings from the World Cup to a charity that helps disabled children take part in sports and training for their disabilities in school.
You never think of the poor part of Paris, but it's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
There is a poor part. When they say the slums of Beverly Hills, fake thing. It's all fine. But I was just in Paris, and I was shocked you can wander into a bad neighborhood.
In other soccer news, Usain Bolt. No, I am not confused. He
Yeah, you
is
sound confused.
the world's fastest man when it comes to running. He is trying to pursue his dream of becoming a professional soccer player. He has reached a deal with Australia, a team called the Central Coast Mariners, the smallest team in Australia.
Yeah.
And I don't mean short people.
Right.
Sounds like a Tebow thing.
Sounds like a mistake thing.
Publicity stunt.
It does, and he says it's not. He says he really wants to play. He grew up playing, but it's got Tebow all over it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm learning to play guitar so I can play in public for dollars. And that's never really going to happen. This guy's going to go and become a soccer, but that's never really going to happen. It's just nice to have dreams.
Yeah, sure. I get why he does it. He wants to follow his dream. The team does it not because they think he's going to be a fantastic player. They think it's because it's going to draw people out to the game to watch the spectacle.
I have never seen an entire soccer game my whole life. But say everybody's around this net over here, and you're going to go to that net over there, and somebody just kicks the ball, and they're all down here, and Usain Bolt goes after it. Isn't he going to get it first?
I mean, being fast is certainly an asset, but you also have to be able to handle the ball.
Actually, that's the last thing you can do is handle a ball. I've seen that much soccer.
With your feet.
Paul, how many miles does a typical player run during a soccer match?
Midfielder will cover about 8 miles in a match. So, yeah, endurance is the big thing you want to be speedy, but you got to be fit.
Right.
Endurance, 8 miles and 1 break the entire time.
Right, yeah.
And that's, 15 minutes?
Yeah, and that's why they're flopping on the ground all the time. Those guys are tired.
They have to do something about that. You could make so much more money with breaks and quarters and things like that.
I think that especially European soccer and South American soccer, they make enough money. So what it is they'll have things
you're
scrolling
under the
across
impression that there
there's
is enough money.
Right?
I'm not.
They don't see it as a problem. They figured out what they have figured out. They figured out ways to do it without affecting the sport, which some American sports could certainly learn from. What if we could cut our baseball games in half or our football games in half? Time-wise, without going all these commercial breaks, they have things that they drop in that Audi goal review was brought to you by the new Audi whatever, or they have the advertisements around the arenas or on the jerseys.
Yeah, I know that I'm right on this because of the way all other professional sports and other things go. They would make more money with more spots.
Sure.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-OA. That's 1-800-DUI-OA. Tomorrow, another huge show lined up for you at 7:50. Paul's daughter, Jelly Bean, shows up on the show.
Hope she's funny this time.
Me too.
She's funny every time. Jelly Bean's joke of the week. And at 7:20, tickets to see Rob Schneider next Saturday night at the Skagit Valley Casino Resort.
That's lovely. And I'm glad your daughter will be here tomorrow, being adorable, because she's one of the top 5 cutest people I've ever seen in my whole life. But then there's Steve Slayton.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to walk in and be probably one of the cutest people you ever saw in your whole life. You're just going to look at him and go, which he hates, by the way, so don't do it. Anyway, we should get out of his way, so we'll talk to you later. Bye.